Bang!
Hello,
Bolt Action News Group.
Bolt Action News Group here with you. We got Maddie and the Constitutional Corner with us as well. And I think we got a couple other guests coming on. We got GA, Government Accountability with us, and Rice Krispie, and of course, Captain Awesome, myself, News Now South Florida. And thank you all for joining us tonight. And tonight's going to be just a free chat. I'll throw the link up in a second. And we can just hang out and have a little chat and promote each other's channels and ask each other questions and,
Questions, comments, agreements, disagreements.
Hey, Monkey, what's up? Save the Humans. Gunny. There's a whole bunch of them already.
Hello, everybody.
Piner, Alabama. Corey's finishing up his dinner over there. That's pretty nice.
Maddie, Constitutional Corner, thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks for inviting me, Rights.
Sure.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
I had to. I had to.
You know what's going on. Oh, my God.
What's up, ASD Docs? Andre Shouldn't Drink. Monkey, Save the Humans. Hillbilly Patriot. So, yeah, Maddie, I do know what's going on. You want to tell everybody?
Sure. I got my response back from my public records request today that I launched last Friday. Besides unnecessary delay, they're wanting to charge me $183. No, I'm sorry, $191.50 for 183 pages of this trooper's file. I can't even imagine what's in there for 183 pages. I'm pretty curious.
Yeah, we were charged 10 times that much for a couple minutes of body cam footage from Pasco.
And the thing is that if you look at the Tribune versus Canola case out of the 2nd District, Florida, we have binding case law on our public records requests. There can be no more than a 48-hour delay before producing the records. Anything more than that is unnecessary delay. And that's Canella versus Canella. I'm sorry, Tribune versus Canella. So they're not supposed to do this. This is not something that, and this is, I think, really indicative of what's going on around the country and why these cities are erupting. Because every time you turn around for justice, all you get is slapped in the face with fees and all this and that. There's no such thing as justice without money. I yield.
You don't want to get us started on public records over here.
Yeah, we all get that runaround, but you know what? That's coming to an end because we're bringing that story to light as how they want to cover up their cover up with the paperwork. And you know, it's not just kneeling on somebody's neck in a video. It's all these other the devil's in the details, like I told that one Tallahassee cop, and those little details of making false arrest a half hour before quitting time just so you can type up that arrest report and get paid overtime. Those days are over. Defund the police means to stop that bullshit. Stop the, MRAPs and chemical weapons, but also stop that bullshit overtime. Well, you guys could see that in a community post I put up a couple days ago. They ruin lives that are paying to line their pockets.
The thing is, right, that these MRAPs and these helicopters and everything that these agencies are getting, all they're paying for on these on this equipment is the shipping costs. The 1033 program funds everything. We've already paid for this equipment through the military. Now the military supplies the police, and it's like this little loophole that they're getting through to get this militarized equipment.
But there's maintenance on it, and you have to pay all that. And there's a high price to maintain those military-grade weapons and vehicles,
Yeah.
You know how many grease points there are on that thing? I don't know. I never had those when I was in, but I bet there's more than 100.
The charge for public records, we pay for all the materials that they use anyway, and the time that they spend there anyway. So why are they you know, getting gratuity. That's what I see it as, is anything extra that they're doing, unless it's something that they are really bogged down with. It's just like gratuity to them. What do they even do with that money? You know what I mean?
And this was addressed in Tribune versus Canella, and the thing is that when this is linked in with the it's a trooper or a law enforcement benevolence fund or something like that, and the proceeds that they get from the copies of these papers, which does not have to be the case. You don't have to accept a paper copy. These people are taking this computer, printing it out on our paper on our time, when it would cost 1/10 of the time just to forward the information on an email. There is nothing in a trooper's record that he can dispute under Tribune versus Canella that is a personal thing that is redacted. He can't redact his service record. It says so in Tribune versus Canella.
Hey, welcome aboard, James. James,
Hey,
Southwest Florida Oath Accountability Project. I know you have no trouble telling everybody your name, so welcome aboard, James. And we could hear every drag you take.
Yes, we can.
Really loud.
Hey, Maddie, let me ask you a quick question, Maddie.
Yes, sir.
You were talking about the personal information. I tried to get from an officer in my hometown. We all know him. We all love him. Corporal Matos. I'm sorry, formerly
Officer
Matos. Yeah. Now he's just Officer Matos. So I tried to get his GPS log for the day once, a while back. And the captain said, and the captain is the one in charge of me, basically. Every time I go make a request, they always send me to him. Anyway, the captain said that they'd have to go through the whole day and redact anything such as if he went to his home address during the day. But I tried to argue, hey, if he's on duty, A, he shouldn't be going to his home address. B, if he does go to his home address, that's his own damn fault. That should be public record. So you're saying that there's case law to support my cause?
Well, it gets a little tricky with what you want. Information, as far as Tribune versus Canella goes, is just the personnel records, his jacket, basically, anything that he's been, complaints and commendations and things like that. As far as GPS logs, that could also be considered and construed as operational, which means that if he was doing something operational, i.e. Surveillance or something like that on the job, that might be redacted as operational compromise.
Okay, I gotcha.
Semper Fi, Gunny Grunt. So, James, you had something similar going on there. They are using coercion and tactics to deprive you of your rights.
Yeah, so essentially it was
and your job, your living.
Yeah, so I did have a member of the Collier County Sheriff's Office. I don't want to get into too much detail with it because I mean, like you and I've been talking. I am talking to Vince and Damien right now, trying to get a couple things.
Megajustice.com.
Megajustice.com. But no, I've actually had I had a law enforcement officer that I essentially called the non-emergency line, put in a public records request because I noticed his vehicle kept being parked at a loading dock that I delivered to, and he kept I kept seeing his vehicle there. And I'm like, okay, that's kind of strange. Why is it for the past almost month and a half I've seen this vehicle here? So I call the non-emergency line, ask like, hey, what's going on? Yeah, so long story short, he attempted to contact my employer, and let's just say it's not good for him.
Yeah, it's retaliation from the Collier County Sheriff's. Shocker.
Yeah,
those bastards are
Goodness,
most corrupt. I was just talking about it today with a Largo PD officer about how corrupt the Collier County Sheriff's Department is. That's the worst I've seen so far.
Like this new thing they're doing too, where they're, speaking of police, where they're turning off the sound on their body cams the stuff going disgusting investigation and turning it off and then turning it back on. Have you seen that new trend?
I went to GA. I went to my DeSoto Sheriff's Office last week. So I got 2 weeks ago. I got body cam footage from when I was outside of Publix. That one live stream I did, and the cops had like 8 minutes of mute on their body cam. So I went to talk to the lieutenant. I went and talked to the patrol lieutenant, one of the patrol lieutenants, and basically showed him the timestamps and how long everything was muted. And he seemed to, be receptive to my complaint. But yeah, and I told him, I said, I understand that you guys have a little loophole that if they're discussing critical information or sensitive, tactical, blah, blah, blah. I said, but they were talking to the complainant. They were literally talking to the complainant, the lady who called, and they muted their mic, which should be, it was against their policy. Their policy specifically said that they had to keep audio and video rolling anytime they're dealing with a call to service. So I made a complaint. We'll see what happens.
Yeah, but what happens in those instances is they'll have like a conference between their buddy and them, which could be considered critical, and then they'll forget to turn it back on. Now, I just received
all four of them forgot.
Well, listen. I just got back to 37 videos, 37 body cam videos for my Blue Line body cam channel that I'm going to be putting up.
And a STD channel.
Yeah, and a lot of them have their mics muted in a good percentage of the video. Hell, one guy turned his camera on, set it on his seat in the car, and then left. And that was the whole video I got. That was this whole body cam video, was me looking at the roof of the cop car for 8 minutes.
That's crazy.
And they actually charged me for that too, by the way.
Nice. And so he actually removed his body cam from his body. That has got to be a dereliction of duty of some form. It's got to be.
Until we get, what we need and what needs to happen is body cams that go on at the beginning of your shift and start recording. They come off you at the end of your shift, and that's when they stop recording. And if there's anything in the middle there that needs redacted out of a certain,
then the office should take care of it. Yeah.
Right, absolutely. And maybe even some kind of civilian oversight body cam board. You know what I mean?
That's what we need.
Because otherwise, the cops are just going to take shit out that they don't want in there.
Right.
Yep.
Which they do all the time, I'm sure.
They do.
If y'all pay attention to the comment that Piner had posted earlier, he said, she's had somebody tell her that if she wants to do anything about anything, she has to get a lawyer involved. So what are complaint departments for? And is it just damage control?
I read that. That was a good comment.
You get rid of internal affairs.
That's just to appease the masses.
Damage control.
Like she said, damage control, meaning let's appease, here it is right here. Let's just appease the masses, and pretend like we give a fuck and take a complaint, and then we'll investigate it and we'll decide there was no justification for a complaint, and then it goes away.
And that's the problem. And we're seeing this all across America. These people are frustrated now. So many people are frustrated. I'm sorry.
Or if it's egregious enough, then they go in cover-up mode and start, covering their tracks.
What I don't understand.
But go ahead.
What I don't understand is this is such a minor offense that happened to me. Okay, he battered me twice, touching my hand, but he didn't harm me. I didn't leave in an ambulance. He didn't beat me up. He just prevented the press. He screwed up. and he'd cost me money. And in that, I have jurisdiction to come in and say, okay, you owe me this money. I was there for Stringer. I wasn't doing any audits. I wasn't doing police accountability. I was there for Stringer. I have more than an hour of footage with me being friendly with the police on the scene, just getting my footage. That's it. I was quiet.
Stringer is an independent media source where you can just sign up to get the story that papers are looking for. You just send it to them and they'll run it.
The videos, yeah, and you just got to keep it still, nice and still, and give them what they're looking for. And I was trying to get in there to get the hood of the car because it was a car versus pedestrian. Obviously, you don't want to video the dead body. You can't get that on TV anyway. But if you're trying to make money, you want to get at least the hood of the car to give people an idea of the impact that happened. And I was scared off from that. He wouldn't let me do it. He would not let me go up there. And then he comes up to me while I'm on public easement, trying to give me commands, grabbing my camera. How did he notice me? I was about 100 feet away. I don't know if everybody's seen the video or not. I know Rights has, and I know Rogue has. But he was 150 feet away from me. I was on a public easement. How did he notice me? Probably from the light on my phone. Well, he didn't tell me anything about complaining about the light on my phone until he got right up in my face, grabbed my phone, and tried to yank it away from me. Well,
yeah, he was 150 feet away from you where the light was not bothering him, and then he walked up to you just to tell you that the light was bothering him when he walked up. 100-yard diva, but wearing an FHP uniform.
Yeah, pretty much.
150-yard diva.
Right. 150-foot diva.
Whatever, 150 foot, 75 foot. It doesn't even matter. I was not on the scene. I was outside of the scene. And you would think that somebody on the Florida Highway Patrol who went through 1 year of school and worked their way up to corporal would know that he's not supposed to mess with the media.
Yeah.
He should know that. He's had plenty of education in this.
You know, Maddie, but the lack of accountability runs so deep, and for so many generations. Yeah, it's easy for people like us to look at that and say, "Wow, they really should know this. This is really crazy." But the bottom line is they've not had to care for so long. You know, what's it going to take to make them start caring? And it's going to take a hell of a lot more people like us, a hell of a lot more people like us. And even then, it's going to take a lot to get this multi-generational problem to go away.
I don't think that it's going to be that bad. I think that if you do things like go after the verbiage of the enabling enabling statutes, and you're able to get it right at the base of where the problem is, and you can get the verbiage to go in at a certain way that prevents them from doing what they're doing. If you get it right at the enabling statute, then you don't have to fight all of this anymore, because then they know this is in the enabling statute. We got to be careful.
You know, yeah, that's a good point. But also, the same people that are in that corrupt system are the ones that interpret that verbiage. You know, the judicial branch are the ones that interpret that verbiage and then tell the executive branch, the cops, how they can skirt around that verbiage. I mean, look at all the courthouses that are getting shut down for video because of one tiny sentence in the legislature that says, you know, whatever, they can make it a limited forum or whatever.
We have a governor who made his military career out of that. He was a lawyer for the Navy SEALs, and it was during the surge, so he told them what they could get away with, what was borderline a war crime, what was not, what they could do, and that was his role. He's our governor of Florida now.
Hey, right. So I got a question. You're the public records expert.
No, I'm not. GA.
No, that'd be
Rogue.
Yeah, that'd be GA over there.
Government accountability. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
So let me pull it up real quick. I'm not sure if you're gonna be able to see this too well.
It still says GA on his tag right there, so we can call him GA.
There's that. All right.
I got you, buddy. Let me kick myself out. Or do I not have to? 1, 2, 3. I guess I don't have to.
So this is something that I'm working on right now because I brought this up about I actually brought it up a couple times to him saying when are you guys gonna get body cams? When are you guys gonna get body cams? And I'm always told, oh it's not really in the budget. So I went ahead and I pulled the financial budget for this year. So they get $197,691,900, and a total of $6.7 million goes towards their budget. If I go to this tab, because I asked for a breakdown of what all that entailed, this is something that I found was kind of interesting. Why are there all zeros and they put everything under other equipment? Zeros, other equipment.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Are they allowed to do that?
There's something fishy there.
Yeah.
There might be a tax reason. Well, wouldn't be a tax reason because it's paid by tax. So never mind. It was stupid.
The only thing I could see is that they're trying to cover up like how much equipment they have and operationally, how many people have these equipment and things like that. They might be trying to hide that from you. I don't know if they can do that or not, but
there is a redaction that they've been trying to give me for when I ask for a vehicle assignment, and it has to do, and I don't have the means to look it up right now because I'm doing this on my phone, but it has to do with stating their total assets or like all the the stuff that they have. So maybe that's why the numbers are zeroed out and they're only giving you the total amount that they spent on all of it.
Hey James, can you read? I can't read those; they're too small for me, and I can't figure out how to blow my screen up. A couple of those. Oh, there we go.
All right, so
how about this? I can see them now. How about this for a possible purpose for them doing that? Do they not want? Is it a security reason for them to not show exactly how many weapons they have, exactly how many comm equipments they have? Maybe that's what they would.
Cool shirt, by the way, James.
Oh, thank you.
That they're trying to give me.
Yeah, they're I'm not really sure. I'll have to ask him. I literally just got this like a few hours ago, so I'm gonna. I just literally just opened
James, when I get up here, I'll text you the statute that they use when I asked for a vehicle equipment from the sheriff's office. Now, not every agency has been like that. The police department here has given me a vehicle assignment, which is just the vehicle, which vehicles each patrol officer drives, or the supervisors or whatever. But it's not asking this detail. If they gave you the numbers, every single little thing that they have, and I could see where that would fall under that exemption. But they are giving you the financial records of it, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay, can I answer Noten Imposter? The answer to that is if you file for a public records request under Chapter 119 here in Florida, you can go to the police station and inspect and photograph the public records for free.
Hey, I gotta go, y'all, but everybody please pay attention. These stories are important. James and Maddie have been pretty much shafted by the police. Shocker.
Oh, I'm not going to give up, though. they don't have that in them.
Yeah, I'll try to come back if I can.
All right, right?
All right, buddy.
All right, later.
But that's the long and short of that. If you go down and inspect and photograph, they cannot charge you for copies. They can only charge you for administrative time.
But exactly. I did ask for a cold case file one time, and I got it, and it was I have the video from when I went to pick it up and stuff. I still have to post it. I've been like way behind on editing footage, but she told me that if I was to go there and copy and inspect it, she would still have to look through and redact or not document and inspect it, not copy it. But she would still have to look through it for redactions and redact it before she showed it to me. So I would still have to pay for that time, is what I was told.
Yeah, the only thing that would be exempt from that is a cop's file, his service record. There's no redactions in a service record.
Right. Except their address and stuff like that. If
There's
they
no
have
address in their
yeah.
service records. It's just their training and complaints and commendations and stuff. There's no address.
Well, if you ask for a complete personnel file, you might end up getting the application and stuff like that too, which
Right.
you learn as time goes on
good.
how to specify what you're asking for.
Yeah,
as time.
you got to be specific.
Yeah, I actually have one that I pulled from a little while ago. I asked for everything on the person, if I can find it.
I think what I'm going to do, I'm taking one of three choices, and I think I'm going to do a fourth choice in there. And this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to take a ride out to Tallahassee, and I'm going to show up at a reasonable hour during business hours, and I'm going to do a public records request to inspect and photograph his service record. How about that? 183.
Yeah, that's a great idea. Hey there, Blind Justice. How's it going, buddy? Thanks for popping in.
Yeah, blind guys, he really needs some help. If anybody knows how to help him, I'll help anybody look up case law. I'll copy and paste it and send it to you. You can see if it applies to you or your case. I don't give legal advice, but if you want, I can look up positive treatment, negative treatment, things like that. If you need help, I can't give legal advice, but I can at least look up and send you to see if it applies to you in your case.
You started that conversation with Blind Justice needs help. What are you referring to?
He's got some stuff going on. I think it's from arrests or something. Probably have to get with him. He'd be better to explain it. But I know that he does need help.
North Carolina stuff when he was out with when he was.
I can't articulate. I don't
Okay.
have. I'm in finals, so I really couldn't give him the time that I wanted to. I'm in finals this week. My last day is Friday for this term. So
good for you.
Yeah, civil litigation next term.
Right on.
So, but yeah,
right he says he's doing okay. They told me I have to go to court tomorrow, and I found out today. Oh, that kind of sucks.
I think that might be a violation procedurally. You should really look that up.
I know we have a right to a speedy trial, but geez, that seems a little excessive.
Yeah, if they only notified him today procedurally, I think they have to give you at least 10 days.
Hey, for the record, James, I don't think that I am the top dog when it comes to obtaining public records.
Yeah.
Bill.
I actually learned from people like Rogue Nation and Jeff Gray, and if it hadn't been for people like them, I wouldn't know what the hell I was doing.
Yeah,
that's what I learned too. Jeff Gray, that's been my partner for 5 years. So
yeah, no, this is just someone said something about like getting a personnel record, and I was just like, I actually have one of those right here. This is essentially kind of what they give you.
Yeah.
So.
Wow, look at that, guys. They told
Blind. Say this is.
I'm sorry, James. They told Blind Justice that he's not, as in no, not able to take his assistive devices to court.
I've seen one of his videos like that.
Okay, but there's a way around that, and it's not very expensive. $35, you can get a court reporter and have a whole recording of it, and the judge can't stop it.
Yeah, I've heard about that too.
That's what I'm going to do when I start suing these idiots for doing all this BS that they're doing. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what I'm going to do to them.
Can they hide the public kiosk for a or for the Central Records Bureau behind a secured area in the state of Florida? Do you know?
Probably.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't think that's illegal. They can put you in any room that they deem is open for the public, but they can't stop you from taking pictures and recording.
See, that's the thing, is Collier County Sheriff's Office, and I tried explaining this to their lawyer, because I even asked them, I said, so you go up to the second floor of the building, and you meet the duty officer, and then between the duty officer and the public records is a door. And I used to go in there, used to be able to go in there all the time with my body cam on, record, and do records requests. Well, all of a sudden, they took a piece of paper and literally just printed "No cameras allowed," secured area. And I tried explaining to them.
Yes, Blind Justice, I do. Yes, jump in the panel.
No, that's
everybody
not,
off.
That's not valid.
Right.
If you look up McDonough v. Rundle, the ability.
McDonough v. Rundle.
Yep. Out of the 11th Circuit, Doc Justice, True Homestead. He the battle in that, and the verbiage on the opinion was that you can record even surreptitiously, even in a chief or any officer's office. You can surreptitiously record. You don't even have to tell them in the 11th Circuit.
Okay.
So they can't tell you that you can't have the electronic devices. It's unlawful, and it's in violation of binding case law in Florida.
Okay. All right. So I'm gonna have to.
Welcome to the panel, Blind Justice. Thank you so much for jumping in, and please share your opinion on this. This is all about you right now. So,
you guys hear me?
Yep.
Hey, Maddie, if you could shoot everybody that case law whenever you can find it, that would be cool.
Yeah. For the
McDonough v. Rundle
about surreptitious recording.
Yeah. Okay.
There we
Hold on. I'll put it up on my Nexus Lexus site.
Oh, I tried posting it, but it wouldn't let me.
It's McDonough v. Rundle, but with Southwest Oath Accountability's question in particular about them making that area restricted. I mean, they're totally allowed to do that. I mean, they could technically put a key card code on the front door and make the whole damn building restricted, and then you can't get in there at all. But I mean, if the area is open to the general public, then you're allowed to go in there with.
Yeah, and it is. And I even asked him. I even have it on camera. I asked him. I said, "So is this open to the public?" And he was like, "Yes, it's open to the public." I'm like, "Okay, so I should be allowed to record in there." And their lawyer was like, "Nope."
And I'm going to correct this a little bit, and I got to pull up McDonough v. Rundle here in just a moment, but I know this case inside and out. And if you're brought back there, I don't care if you're under supervision.
It's not letting me post links. I've got the. Oh, yeah, there we go.
It doesn't matter if you're under supervision of another cop. It doesn't matter if you're in the sheriff's office or the chief's office or some lieutenant Joe Blow down the road. It doesn't matter. I don't care if they put key cards on it and guard dogs and electric wire. It doesn't matter. You can surreptitiously, according to McDonough v. Rundle, you can surreptitiously record the entire time, and they have no expectation of privacy. And that is McDonough v. Rundle.
All right.
James, I just made you a moderator real quick so that you could pop up links if you wanted. I think that's why.
Yeah, I just reposted the link.
Awesome.
Let me get this pulled up for you guys.
Hey, I'm probably going to have to drop out here and go to the YouTube and just watch it from there and comment, because my phone's about to hit 1,000 degrees and is almost dead.
All right, buddy.
But it's been nice chatting with you.
Have a good evening.
Yeah, hey, take care, bud.
Blind Justice, you're up, man. What have you got to add to this? I guess he's gone.
Oh yeah, no, he was saying he had to get off, I think.
No, that was
GA.
Yeah, that was GA. Oh, yeah, he's gone too.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us while you were there, Blind Justice. That was nice. All right, so let's look at this. Did somebody want to pull up this thing?
Oh, yeah, here I have it ready.
I'm pulling it up right now on Nexus. Okay.
James has it ready?
Yeah. Okay.
I can't post it, but I can.
Here we go. We got it. Yep, we
Okay.
got it on the screen now. Go for it. Go for it, Maddie.
Okay. In a 1983 suit against a state attorney who told a city resident that his recording of a meeting of city officials violated Florida statute subsection 934.03 2016, the district court erred in failing to determine that the statute was inapplicable to the resident. The meeting was not an oral communication as defined by Florida statute. I think that is the case, right? Because he's got several up there in the 11th.
Yeah, I'm looking at this one. Yep, it was Florida Statute 93403 2016.
Wired.
What was it? Some about recording the chief of police and then meeting in his office to discuss the complaint. Some be known to the chief. McDonough recorded a portion of the meeting on his cell phone and later posted portions of the recording on the internet. And that was decided back in 2017, right?
Yep.
Okay. Yep. This is it.
Yeah. The overview of this holding was in the suit against the state attorney who told the resident that his recording of a meeting of city official violated the Florida statute. The district erred in failing to determine it was inapplicable to the resident. The judgment was reversed and remanded. But the thing is that this has got negative treatment. Let me take a look at why it's got negative treatment right now.
If what?
The case has negative treatment, which means the citing was okay. So after the negative treatment, there was a stay granted in the U.S. district.
Yeah. See, it usually have very conclusion.
I shepherdized the case. I have all those tools on this really fancy college thingy.
Yeah. Hey, you want to bring yours up then?
I can't. I'm on my phone and it's
What's
on my.
that?
But I know James personally calls me sister and I call him brother. I mean, I talk to him like on a weekly basis, so I got firsthand knowledge of the citing of this.
Which site are you looking at on?
I'm on Nexus UNI. Nexus Lexus. I don't know if you've ever heard of that or not, but
yeah.
He's grabbing it. I can see him typing it.
Well, good luck because the paid version of Nexus UNI is not going to be available to you. I'm getting this through college.
Oh, yeah, no, yeah, I was going to say, yep, that makes sense because I was going to say I'm not seeing it.
But there are parallel citations. Let me take a look here.
He's back.
Hey, welcome back.
Hopefully.
Let me mute my microphone while
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
I can hear you, Jane. Blind Justice.
All right. Yeah, this tomorrow's is the Madison case where they kidnapped me when I was just sitting with the missus in that church parking lot playing Pokemon with her.
Your volume's pretty low, Blind Justice. Is there any way you can make it a little louder?
Let me switch headsets.
I got to bounce, guys.
Yeah, I'm going to take him up here in just a moment.
I'm holding down the fort then. I got it, buddy. Me and Southwest Florida Oath Accountability. He's going to be my go-to today.
Yeah, I'm going to have to hop off the stream here in a minute, but I'll go and watch. I'll go back on the video. Yeah.
Me and Maddie. I forgot Maddie was here too. Maddie's holding down the stream with me today.
Oh yeah. We're here. I'm on it now. I'll tell you what. The Florida Highway Patrol, they shouldn't have ought to put so many matches under my butt. Now it's on fire and it's just nothing.
Let me hear you now, Blind Justice. Let me hear your volume. Are you on? I hear nothing. You might have lost your audio again, buddy.
Here, I'm gonna hop off real quick.
All right, my friend. See you later.
All right, I'll see you guys later.
Leslie, how's it going, Leslie? Thank you so much for joining us. It's nice to see you. All right, guys. Well, they're dropping like flies, so here's the link. Anybody who wants to come up and Wolfie can hear him fine. I couldn't hear anything. Jump on in there, Wolfie. There's the link. Noten, are you filing a lawsuit? That's what Jennifer wants to know. Are you filing a lawsuit? I imagine that was for your comment about going to jail for 2 months. And YouTube watcher, you took time to type something that I didn't post. I'm not sure what it was, buddy. I apologize. Copy and paste it in there again. I'll look at it. Blind Justice can't get it to work for him. He's sorry. Hey, that's all right, Blind Justice. Thanks for popping in and trying. It's always nice to see you in here. All right, so what's up now, Maddie? What do we got next on our agenda? Everyone left us.
Oh man, I know. We gotta hold this down now, huh? I don't know, man. To me, I think we pretty much covered it. I mean, we know what's going on, and we're well aware. And what I don't understand, okay, we have so many people in this country that are really backing these police officers. Now, don't get me wrong. I think that there are cases when, a police service might be necessary. After the person is broken and is chalked out on the floor, you need the coroner to come remove the body, and you need the cop to come and take the report.
Right.
If you get held up in an armed robbery and you have to defend yourself, well then again with the chalk, and you defend yourself, whatever. But honestly, the war on drugs is arguably unconstitutional. It's a war on the people. To defund
victimless crime.
Yeah, well, the whole thing is that it's a medical disorder. Drugs are a medical disorder, and places like Amsterdam and other countries around the world have adopted into this theory, and the drug abuse in those countries has dropped significantly. The thing is that they get treatment. If you are to the point where you're in an alley and you're shooting up because you can't get home to do it, you got a problem there, homie. You need to go get some help. And that's what these other countries that have legalized all drugs and have made it more of a medical issue. If you get caught like that, instead of ruining your life, instead of putting you behind bars with hardened criminals.
Well, and making the non-drug addicted taxpayers pay for it.
Exactly. Instead of saying, hey, you need to go get some help. We're going to bring you to the hospital.
Right. And then the taxpayers will pay for it.
But, we're going to end up paying for it one way or the other.
Of course we are. Wolfie Gladly, my brother.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Oh, my God. Wolfie, what's going on, man?
What's up, Maddie?
Love your work.
Thanks. Love yours.
Thank you.
Love yours, too. News Now, South Florida.
No, you don't. You don't even know who I am.
Yeah, I do. I missed the bonfire. I missed that bonfire.
Yeah. It's too hot down here to have fires now. You'll have to wait a little while.
Yeah, it's like a rainforest up here right now. Crazy humidity.
Where you at?
I'm in New Jersey.
Oh, geez. If you think that's humidity, come on down to Florida for a couple days.
Oh, I bet, man. I feel like I'm in somebody's crotch.
Right.
It rains down here this time of year. I don't even think the rain hits the ground. It just immediately turns into humidity.
Steam. Yeah.
No, it hits the ground. It just bounces up into humidity.
There you go.
It bounces into a fog. So, what do you? I've been in here for a little bit. I've seen the subject you were talking about McDonough versus Rundle.
Yeah, he's a good friend of mine.
Whatever else? What else do we have here?
Well, how about if you want to talk about civil disobedience? I'll throw something out there. Have
Heck
you guys
yeah.
ever heard of Fane Lozman?
No.
U.S. Supreme Court case Fane Lozman versus Riviera Beach. Fane was
What's that name? Flame?
no Fane, Fane.
And then what was the last name?
Lozman, Lozman.
Movement.
It might be
Fame.
Loze. Yeah. If you go to the
Lossman?
Supreme Court, Lozman, Loz. It might be EMAN or Lozman. One of the
Okay.
other.
Looking
And-
for it.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Versus
the premise of this case that I'm talking about, because he's got several in the U.S. Supreme Court. The premise of this one that I'm talking about is he went to a city meeting and was heavily outspoken and asked to leave the podium, and they can lawfully do that. The problem was that he wasn't willing to do it and was subsequently arrested, violating his First Amendment rights. Well, the premise of this basically says that even though they had the valid right to kick him off the podium and have him arrested, it did not supersede his right to go after them for the 1983 for the First Amendment issue. So even if they had a valid arrest on him, it was not a valid. He could still go and sue them for the valid arrest.
So yeah, because he has that 5 minutes.
Yep. Well, it was a First
Yeah.
Amendment issue. Regardless of the time, he didn't contest the arrest. He didn't say they arrested me falsely.
Right.
All he said was they arrested me and violated my Fourth Amendment rights. The issue of whether he was properly arrested or not never even came into the trial. They didn't contest it.
Yeah, I'm not very familiar with it, so I don't want to sound stupid talking about it. There we go.
big enough.
You know,
I'll
you are
be
just
able-
really good, dude. I just love you, man. You're just awesome.
Was
He was a vocal critic of the city's plan to utilize eminent domain to redevelop
Oh,
the
that's
river.
the other case. That's the other case.
That's a different one?
Yeah, he's got, I think, either, I don't know, somewhere between 2 and 5 up in SCOTUS. He's been up there. He's gotten certiorari like several times. He's a very successful business developer down in South Florida in Riviera
Let me
Beach.
try again. That's
Yeah, he's got
that's
several.
Riviera Beach. So they're all against Riviera Beach?
Yeah, all of them.
Floating home is not a vessel. Yep, he's got one that floating home is not a vessel for purposes of blah, blah, blah. The
And
existence
then,
of probable cause for the arrest of disrupting
that's it. The one.
All right,
That's it.
I got it. All right.
Existence
There
of
you go.
probable cause was not contested in the lawsuit.
This one here?
Yep, that's the one.
That's just a link or something.
Oh, okay, so since
Just go to SCOTUS Direct. Go to the Supreme Court .gov.
so since probable cause wasn't contested, what did that do? What was the significance of the outcome of that?
Well, the significance was, one, he won his 1983. They had to pay him.
Mm-hmm.
They in the opinion, and I don't have it in front of me, but I know that the basic premise of the opinion was that it was not contested, and it doesn't have to be contested for you to have a First Amendment issue.
Right, and that's what that case law is like stating right there for everyone.
Yeah, in a short explanation. There's a better explanation by reading the whole thing, but the long and short of it, yeah.
So pretty much you don't have to put the personal notice about it while it's happening. You could still have your fight in court and have that protecting you.
Yeah. Well,
no matter what.
it's not going to really protect you. I mean, you could still get convicted of the probable cause if they have it, but that doesn't negate your ability to go after them for it.
Right. It protects your fight for it. It's
You
not
can
gonna.
go
It's not,
and contest it and sue them for your arrest, and still, even if you're behind bars, you're just gonna have, I guess, a lot of ramen noodles.
yep. And then you have to wait for your day, and we all know
Yep.
how that goes.
Oh yeah. But to me, that I think that's like really extremely relevant case law for people that actually want to take a stand in their county, in their state, in their city. Not to be afraid to step up to that microphone and say, no, not on my watch. And we need more people like that. We need more people to be active in their communities. Start out at the local government level, your city, your county. Make a difference. Go in there and just clean house. Make sure that they're acting accordingly.
All right.
Yep, that's absolutely. And look what Noten says. As soon as the residents are not hostages anymore, we're going to hear the most unbelievable stories.
I love it. That was funny. That's good.
Maddie, Southwest Oath Accountability wants you to send him an email, and there's the link there. So jot that down.
I don't have anything to write with. South Florida, can you do contact c.corner@yahoo.com?
Contact
the word. Yep.
Corner.
Yep.
Is it okay if I put it in the chat?
Yeah, absolutely.
Contact c.corner@yahoo.com. Yahoo.
Now, like that feign case law, man, this is why case laws are so important. My false arrest, I kind of want them to try to put up a fight so it can go climb levels. I don't think they have any case against me. I think it's just going to get dropped. But I kind of want them to try to say, hey, we're going to put you through the biggest fight of your life. And I'll pay the lawyer. I already know what the fees are when it goes past that point. He's already made me aware of how much I could be looking at paying if I go all the way. But
before you can even go all the way, you got to get certiorari granted on each level.
Right, and that's things that I'm just gonna let my lawyer, my criminal defense lawyer, I'm paying a very rich Jewish lawyer that has an office in a skyscraper in Philadelphia. And
there you go.
and they didn't expect that. They thought I was going to go with some of the people that mail me letters around the way, but I just went all the way outside of that, and I figured it was more important to spend more, just to prove my point, or just to get it dropped. But I don't think we have any real important case laws in New Jersey, like for our protection of our freedoms. I really think nobody's ever done what I do. Well, there's been people that did what I do, but they're not active anymore. Like, they have kids, they have work, they stopped doing it. But it takes somebody to really mess up for it to happen. So,
which judicial circuit are you in? Which appeals court circuit are you in?
Third Circuit Court of Appeals. So we have Fields v. Philadelphia here, which lets us record our government employees, and that's going to come into effect and help me with my criminal defense. And it's probably, I don't know exactly how it works, I'm not an attorney, but probably will help me when I move forward after my criminal defense. But and then there's also, the USC 1983, the 242, Title 18 242, and things like of that nature. But
were you injured when they apprehended you?
I was. They had injured my wrist, but they don't have the audio on their body cam or their dash cam footage.
Okay,
That's
here's the
carefully.
problem that you're going to run into with that on the under 242, and your attorney's going to have to run into it. 242 can only be pursued by a federal judge or a grand jury, because that's a federal charge that carries a jail term with it. And when you're charging a state employee, whether it be a local or a county or whatever, it's got to go through a grand jury and a federal judge. They can't just charge under 242 and 241.
Oh, I got you then. I got you. Shit. There was this judge I heard about the other day. What the hell's his name? Seth, maybe? Damn it. There's a federal judge out there. He's an older black gentleman who I heard is like the worst federal judge. He always sides with cops, and he pretty much throws cases away while he eats breakfast. I searched him up the other day, but I'm trying to find him in my history. Yesterday I searched him up. See if I can find that. Let's see what I got.
And Southwest,
Man.
I got your message about you sent me an email. If I leave, then I have to leave the thing because that's all on my phone. So I'll check it out here in a couple minutes. I got to get going anyway soon. I got finals. So
what
Let me
about
just do a quick search here?
241?
no,
Is that in reference to Wolfie talking about?
yeah, and that's still a federal charge. Only a federal judge and a grand jury can exercise that charge.
Okay.
That's coming from 3 different attorneys, not just.
Gotcha. See, that's the stuff I have no clue about. That's why I pay an attorney. Yesterday was the 22nd.
So Maddie, Government Accountability asked, so 42 USC 1983 is the only option?
Well, there are different and you can look it up. There, through that whole 1980 process, from 1980 to 1989, I think, is all of the civil rights and the conspiracies and the deprivation of rights and things like that throughout that entire chapter 42 subsection 1980. That whole thing is all about that deprivation against a protected class and things like that. That's just something that you got to read through. You pull up the 42s and you pull up the 1980, and then you look through all that, and you'll get a better idea of how that works. And then look up different cases that are citing 1983s and 1981s and 1985 and things like that for conspiracies and stuff. Look those up and have a good understanding of that federal law. Understand the enabling statutes behind it that authorize the agencies to enable those statutes, and see if that corresponds with their directive from the enabling statute.
Right. Hey, Maddie, this is the judge I wanted to bring up. His name's Percy Anderson. He's a United States District Judge. I think he's in California. Is that how federal judges work? They just go by state?
No. Okay, so it starts off in a lower district, and it depends on the jurisdiction of the court. You wouldn't go to a family court for a civil case, but you'll you start off in the appellate courts, and then you work your way up. If you have to appeal, after you appeal your first appeal, that becomes binding law in your state, whatever that decision is. So then if you don't like the decision, you apply for certiorari, and you go the next thing up, which would be the state court. And then you could go up from there to state federal court. And if you don't get that, then you go up to your, like us, it'd be the 11th Circuit, you would be the 3rd. And then if you don't get it in your district federal court, then you apply for certiorari through SCOTUS. And very, very few cases that go to SCOTUS ever even make it. Very, very, very few. Like, it's a very small percentage. I think 1 in like 100.
my next question is, all right, so certiorari could be used for a federal judge's decision, right?
No, certiorari is just what gets you approved into the next court.
All right, so once a federal, because I have a question, it's for a friend of mine. Once a federal judge makes a decision, I was hearing something about you can't really fight back, but I think that sounds bogus.
Well,
Like you
no,
can't say, "Hey, look, I don't agree with it. I appeal your decision in a district court of the state."
well, if you're in order to do that, though, you have to prove that they either violated your rights, or that they violated law, or that they violated court procedure. When you appeal on these, you're appealing based on the violations where they appeared to you that they weren't into consideration. Maybe it was a First Amendment issue that they said, we will not even allow you. And I've seen this. It was, let me see, it was Michael Hoffman. I don't know if you guys know who Michael Hoffman was. He was that guy that stood out at the airport with Jeff Gray, and he ended up arrested over at the Jacksonville airport and served time. And when he went to trial, they said that if the attorney even brought up the issue of the First Amendment, that they were gonna there was gonna be sanctions and problems that were gonna be. They wouldn't allow it, basically. So that would have been grounds for appeal. But by that time, I mean, you get so worn out with all these appeals. They wear you down. And
well, they do it, to drain your pockets and drain your energy and time.
Yeah, and until finally you say yes, master.
Mm-hmm.
Once you say
News
yes,
Now California. How's it going?
News Now California's in here. Cool.
Yeah.
I was so this Percy Anderson is a very he's a federal judge in the district Central District of California. I don't know if you can search him up, but if you do, you'll find an article that says the headline is Percy Anderson. Is he fit to be a judge?
I don't have that kind of knowledge. I'm paralegal level at best.
Well, right. This guy is just like in California, and he's one of them. But from what I'm hearing is, and what I see online here, they're like this guy that writes this article here. He wrote it in 2016. He wrote, Anderson is obviously a man with acute psychological problems. This can be gleaned from comments posted by those who identify themselves as attorneys on the Robing Room website, which ranks Anderson as the 5th worst U.S. District Court judge in the nation, behind Honorable William D. Keller, Manuel L. Real, and Otis D. Wright II, who also sit in the Central District of California.
Okay, so Hillbilly Patriot said, but couldn't the same federal judge say you didn't prove your rights were violated, or would that be decided by a different judge to avoid the conflict of interest? Of course, it would be a conflict of interest, and the only one that can grant the certiorari is a judge that sits in a higher position in the judicial system than the judge that you just came from until you get to SCOTUS.
Wow, so there are some ways that a federal judge can kibosh your whole case, but there's other ways that you can get around it if you feel like your actual argument wasn't heard correctly.
Well, you could try. Just because you apply for certiorari doesn't mean that they're going to give it to you.
Man, what a corrupt business, man.
And let me ask you guys this. What if we pay all this money in taxes, right? And we pay all this money to streamline our justice system. Why is it that for every time I want to file something, it can cost me anywhere up to $35 to $60 for a motion? Why is it that even just to file and get my justice, I have to pay between $375 and $475 here in Florida, and that goes up around the country? I think New York is up around $600.
Yeah, that's probably somewhere like that in New Jersey too, because we run along the same tyranny as New York does for whatever reason. Yeah, I've noticed it's always like $400 to $600, like that you have to do just for your filing fee, which is a small price to pay if you're really going to get change done. But then you're taking a risk every time you step in front of one of these judges, because you don't know if this judge sides with law enforcement or is actually fair or even cares enough to hear your case. Some of these judges are over 70 years old, which I think should be too old to qualify you as a judge anymore, because you cannot relate with the new law. You've earned yourself a seat as a judge throughout the years from old law, and
Right.
and a new perspective can't be seen by somebody who is set in their old ways. So personally, I think after you're 70 years old, or shit, it should be before that. I think 65 should be the limit for a sitting judge, as well as Congress and Senate and all that stuff. But
maybe we should make, if you're collecting Social Security, be the cutoff. If you're getting
yeah, if
Social
you're old enough to collect Social Security or a pension, if you're old enough to
right,
retire with a pension from your job, why should you still hold that
then
job
get
and just
the
suck
hell
away
out.
tax dollars and
Yeah.
be out of touch with what's going on in front of us?
Hey, Maddie, yeah, Maddie, can you address this Southwest Florida Oath Accountabilities question to you? Quick question on the aspect of the case law that you brought up regarding the ability to record public officials. Does that mean that the signs stating, sorry, it's a little, stating that you can't record in a courthouse are null?
I don't know about a courthouse. All I know about is the police. And in McDonough, the courthouse was not addressed in that decision. So to articulate, I believe that J.C. Playford might know of the proper case law for that. I know he was up at the courthouse one day talking about it. I don't remember what case it was, and I don't talk to him anymore. But I know that there is case law out there. It's just not McDonough v. Rundle.
All right. How do those signs, I've always kind of wondered this. I'm sure, obviously, there's reason for it in their minds. But so how do those little signs overrule the case law of us being able to record public officials in the course of their official duty?
That's simple. That's real simple. Sheeple don't know.
That's it? People don't know?
Sheeple don't know. They just comply.
Okay. So basically you're saying that that rule in the courthouse should not overrule the
Well, the thing
case law.
is that they have a thing in the enabling statute that allows them certain privileges, and the vagueness of the verbiage in the law allows the anonymity and allows the chief judge to issue rules and regulations in accordance with the Constitution and judicial oversight to issue orders, things like no recording devices and things like that. However, that is supposed to be, according to the case law that I've heard about, I've not read, but I've heard that the case law is common areas of the court are open to the public, therefore there is no expectation of privacy.
Right. And Oath Accountability just posted, they have judicial orders posted, not laws.
Right.
True. But LCRs also. We have an LCR in Pennsylvania in the Eastern District, 83.3. It allows you to record in the courthouse, but you have to be 50 feet from the elevator bays, and you can't record in any components of the courthouse, like the clerk's office and shit like that.
See, the clerk's office is separate from the courthouse here, so I go in there with body cams all the time.
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Now down here in my neck of the woods.
This was for federal court, though. That's what I was saying. Though, my bad.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. The federal district courts are going to be a little bit different.
That's going to be different for sure. But down here in my neck of the woods, there's a lot of houses that won't even let you in the door. They won't even let you in the pre-security screening area with your camera.
Right.
Which can't be lawful. It can't be. I don't see how it's lawful.
Well, the thing is that you got to start off at the very base of it, get the idea of the enabling statute, then look up the the corresponding, because I mean, with the enabling statute, it says that they have certain rights and abilities to create this or that. And that's why the enabling statutes are really important. So when they have these abilities to create this or that function, the FDIC has certain enabling statutes that allows them to make regulations in accordance. The FBI has enabling statutes. The state police have state enabling statutes. The only one that doesn't, and it's really funny, and they don't answer to any branch, is the CIA.
All right. I have a question. Going back to the Eastern District of Pennsylvania Federal Courts, there's this guy. His name's Juan R. Sanchez. He cited the LCR, the local civil rule, like I mentioned just earlier, 83.3, which I mentioned says that you can record just as long as you're not within 50 feet of elevator bays, I guess, for jury or jurors and stuff, and as long as you're not in any of the components. So they're strictly like, hallways, foyers, lobbies, entrances, as long as you're not 50 feet from the elevators, right? So it doesn't say you can record in components. So I get that. But this judge connected his own message to that LCR, saying that electronic devices are subject to search upon entering, while in, and upon exiting the courthouse by security staff. Yes. That is the illegal order by Juan R. Sanchez that would have to, I guess, be fought with money in court.
Good luck getting my phone without a warrant.
Yeah, I cannot believe that it says that. Well, they didn't try to take my electronic device or anything. They just said I couldn't record in there. I guess they know a little bit better. But that can just scare the regular person that doesn't know off right away. Well, and when you come in, you look at the GSA and you look at 102, what is it? 102.47, 420, I believe it is. Shit. Correct me if I'm wrong. I forget. I forget exactly the number. I've seen it so many times. You'll be misled by the GSA poster that says you can go into these areas and record freely until they show you a judge's order. And you'll be lucky if you don't get locked up before they even show you that order.
Oh man, false arrest for an unlawful search on my phone without a warrant. Okay.
Oh yeah.
What's that about? That's about $160,000 lawsuit all day long.
Right. Now, how would you fight that without an unlawful arrest? If you've been denied your rights to record in there, how would you go about getting that changed? What would be the first
you would have to
order?
First you have to prove that you have jurisdiction over that, which means that you would have to prove that there was damage to you over that. Now, is that damage in the form of your civil rights, or is that in another capacity? When you file, you have to have jurisdiction over that person that you're suing.
So you can't just go in and say, for everyone's civil rights, this should be changed to what it should be meant to be.
Well, I mean, it's going to come. You can do it one of two ways. You could either go to your local legislator and try to get a bill passed and get it to at least the slip law level, and try to get things changed, or you can try to create case law, because with judicial supremacy, they can override some laws that are deemed unconstitutional, especially if you go to a federal level and you're claiming that the laws that are invalid are on the state level. Then they would definitely be an inquiry there, I would imagine.
So, yeah, and you'd have to pour a lot of money into that, right? Without any kind of false arrest or injury or anything like that nature.
McDonough v. Rundle, I could tell you, I think the last I checked, he said something about he's got 80,000 in his lawsuit to get to the 11th each.
Wow. See, and they know that, and there's no way you could change that without a false arrest or a false search and seizure or
even
bodily
if you
harm.
Do a false arrest, you're talking now. Not only do you have the 80,000, but now you're going to have to put 3,000 to 10,000 up just to get you off of that case. So there you go. There's your 100,000 right there in the case.
And that would be pretty much you'd probably break even if you want any kind of money on a settlement.
No. I mean, your attorney fees and all that are going to be reimbursed to you, but do you have $80,000 up front?
Right. Nobody does. Exactly. Not a lot of people.
Oh,
Not
they
not,
do.
not those of us that care to fight the
Well,
fight.
yeah, wealthy people don't care about their
Right.
rights because they have enough money to just not care about anything. You know, that they're only worried about their luxury and leisure.
Well, the thing is that how can you ever have true justice if true justice comes at a financial cost? The thing is that the whole judicial system needs to be revamped, and money monetarily needs to be completely removed from the criminal and civil litigation circuit. Now, to fight, I think, frivolous stuff in family law, because you know how divorces, he said, she said, and it gets to a knockdown, drag out. Well, then, maybe there should be some type of fees to prevent some of the frivolous stuff that goes on in family court and in other, things of that capacity. But things like injunctions and and stops and things like that shouldn't cost you any money. Stays, things like that should not cost you any money. When it comes
Right.
to your public records about a cop and you want his service file, it shouldn't take more than a half hour to dig that up and send it in an email. And in
Right.
Florida, they have 48 hours. I've showed the case law on that. They have 48 hours in Florida, or they're not in compliance.
48 hours is a
Yeah.
reasonable time to give a.
It's a reasonable time to put to delay. They have 48 hours of delay, and then they have to get you the information as a news source.
And that, of
Hey.
course, applies to a readily available record. Is that what you're saying?
Well, the employee records are readily available. How hard is that to pull up?
But I'm saying the case law that you mentioned, or you didn't mention what it was, but the case law that you said,
Tribune. That's the Tribune
applies
versus
to
Connect.
readily available records.
Right. And that Tribune versus Canella only deals with the police service file.
Service records.
His service records. It doesn't also, include other public information that could have redactions. They have a little more time on the ones that have redactions.
Right. So when you say a police service record, you're referring to their years on the force, can you get access to like where they were before the current assignment and stuff like that? Or
I would imagine you could. Yeah, I've never done that. But I would imagine in the service file, prior employment might be included.
Yeah, I've been wanting to do, and not on anyone in particular, and not for any particular reason, but I've been wanting to get a service record of one of my local cops, and then of course it should show their previous employment. If nothing else, if you get a request for their application, they'll say what their previous work history was, right? And then
Right.
I've been wanting to go and get like multiple offices, IA, any IA reports or investigations for that cop for like the last 3 jobs. I just feel like that'd be a funny video.
I think it would be pretty entertaining. I don't think that the records themselves would be as entertaining as the runaround you get trying to
Just the
go.
runaround, right? What I'm gonna name the bureaucratic shuffle. That's what I'm gonna name it.
Hey, Maddie.
Yeah.
I don't know if you've by any chance saw the footage of my false arrest.
I've been in school, but I haven't really been watching First Amendment videos. I'll be honest.
Hey, it's hard to cram in a lot of time in there. But
I'm in finals week right now, and I just spent an hour and 20 minutes talking to you guys. I'm supposed to be writing papers.
I just wanted to mention something because I want to send this to you. I want to send like in your email.
Okay,
I'll send you a copy of their email to me explaining the redaction, because I want to come after them for violating my public records rights in New Jersey, the Open Public Records Act. They redacted 3 minutes and 12 minutes of footage in 2 different parts, and 15 minutes in total. They redacted well more than just names and phone numbers that they asked these people, this warden, for. It's embarrassing kind of to look at it. My lawyer is getting, he just sent everything in this week, and we'll wait till, last week, and we'll wait till further along this week to see what kind of response he's had so far. But
well, if I were you, if you want to keep up on it, and you want to know where he's at and up to speed, they teach us in paralegal school to start with the enabling statute and work your way up, getting binding case law as you can find. Getting binding case law. If you're going to do what you're doing with this activism on a regular basis, I fully recommend Nexus Lexus. It's a little bit pricey. I think it's like $20 a month or something. But I'm going to tell you right now the information, because when you can sit there and shepherdize a case, and you can say whether that case is binding, if it has negative treatment, what was the case, and what did they have against the binding of that case law, which is what negative treatment basically is. There's so much you can do. It gives you lists and lists of other cases that have cited it in the past, which really helps you when you're prosecuting against these guys.
Right. So yeah, and there, that's awesome. Nexus. I'm gonna keep that in mind, and I'll give it
Lexus.
Yep.
Nexus Lexus. And just real brief. I'll send you the email just so you can look at it and kind of laugh and shit. But the reason they give for 15 minutes of redaction was investigative techniques could be compromised.
Okay.
So, but they do unredact it for a portion where I walk by and leave the bus stop I was sitting at because they wanted to hear what I said. Now, somebody else made a very so this the whole time they talked to this warden who was the complainant for a false trespass. They're trying to give me a defiant trespass for asking for a PIO and then leaving when they said they weren't there. But they really just pretty much got butthurt because we were recording the 9/11 park across the street adjacent to the prison afterwards. They came out and fucked with us and violated our rights in that way. They violated my rights like 8 different ways in southeastern PAs as well, because he was with me. But when they unredact it while I walk by, you hear the cop saying, this is after the first 3 minutes of redaction, yeah, he's clearly aggravated. And then he mentions that he doesn't want to turn around to see what the warden was upset, so he got out of his truck and started cam-backing us all in our face, like happens to everybody. Like, oh, you're just gonna let him walk away? He was clear. It was clear the first 3 minutes of redaction was the officer, I'm assuming, saying, look, man, they're not even on the property, what can we do?
Yeah, they were colluding against you. He jumped up. They were colluding against you, probably.
Yeah, but it'll be funny to see, I'll let him get through his finals and stuff, and whenever he sees the email she sees the email.
I had a flash. Sorry, guys.
Oh, no, it's all good.
Joe Cool is in the house. What's up, Joe Cool? Jump on up, brother.
Hey, Joe. What's up, buddy?
Joe Cool, hop in for a little bit, bro.
Jump on up.
Jump on up.
Maddie, there was a question I wanted you to address. I had it up for a while.
Sorry.
I lost it, but it was kind of a vague question because I imagine the answer is going to depend on what the lawsuit's about. But
that's
somebody
exactly, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, I think it depends on what it's about, and I also think that there might be other circumstances that could give you extensions, like delay of records and things like that. But the thing is that you don't want to wait until the very last minute. You want to get this paperwork in, and you want to get it started. You want to, get everything. But remember, have your ducks in a row before you do that. And the one thing that we have the benefit of with the Florida in the Sunshine Act is the fact that we can pull all these records before we even file the suit. We can get all of the information that we need and be ready with motions and be ready with responses before they even happen. And you can see them, what these responses are going to be if you're reading and interpreting the case law properly.
Yeah. Yep. So it's been a year and maybe 2 months since Matos, since the Matos issue, and Rogue Nation actually did sue Matos and settled out of court. So is it too late for me to open up a lawsuit?
I don't know about that. I'd have to look up the court rules on that.
Right on.
Look at
Mr.
it.
Joe Cool, what's up?
What's up,
That's
Joe?
good, baby. I'm
Hey,
high as
Mr.
fuck. How did I
Cool.
not see that fucking link? I'm high as fuck, Joe.
Mr. Cool.
What's good, baby?
What's good, buddy? What's going on?
Oh man, I broke my camera. I'm retired for a while. I'm looking at a couple options. Yeah.
Uh-oh.
Forced retirement.
No
Oh,
more
no.
blow baby for a little while?
Not for a while, man. I'm thinking for a few days, if not a week. It's been about 3 or 4 days already.
Hey,
got
but blow me lives matter. Blow me lives matter.
Yes.
That's great.
Is there a topic? I know sometimes you guys have a topic. I wouldn't want to stray.
No, Tuesdays are kind of our open night to just kind of chat and bullshit, but we've actually been pretty topic driven for the last hour.
I was just picking Maddie's brain for a little bit about personal things that I've experienced.
Exactly. Maddie's been running up and down some legal stuff for us and case law stuff for us, and rocking the show for real.
Maddie sounds like an asset.
Oh, wow. Thanks, guys. You're too kind, really.
Maddie knows a lot. Maddie knows a lot.
Heiner says that News Now South Florida, it shouldn't be, but I can't remember what I said, Piner.
I've been there, bro.
Might be about the statute of limitations.
I forgot. Oh yeah, that was probably my question about can I still sue Matos? Nice.
Yeah, if I were you, I would Google that. I would take a look at that and see what the statute of limitations are on suing
unlawfully IDing me under duress.
Well, and when I start seeing a lot of you guys when I get out there, because I'm getting ready to get out there on the bike, I got a bunch of those yellow cards, man. I got a bunch of those yellow
cards.
Let's
go for a ride. I got 2 right there. You can come down and we can jump on one bike.
Let's do it.
We'll do some 2-wheel auditing.
Hell yeah. Hey, don't get me started, man. I'm ready.
Right on.
I'm fired up, man. I got
2 Harleys sitting in the shed waiting to go.
Oh man, I got that. I just picked up that Suzuki 800 Intruder.
Oh yeah, those are nice. I like those.
I'm getting ready to throw Vance and Hines pipes on it tomorrow.
Hell yeah. Yeah, my Crossbones has Vance and Hines short shots, and man, they're loud as hell.
Oh man, yeah, you got Harleys, man. You got the big boy pants on.
That's okay. I just got this one. See this one right here. I just got it.
What is that? Electric Glide? No, that's
it's a limited, an ultra limited.
Ultra limited.
Hey, something happened to my volume, yo. I gotta hop down and hop back up. I got a text and suddenly I can't really hear.
All right, my friend. But yeah, I just went and picked that up because the old lady got tired of sitting on the tiny little back seat on my bar hopper. So
what do you got on the other one in FX?
It's a Crossbones. It's basically it's a modified Fat Boy. You can't really see; it's kind of dark. They only made it for 4 years. They made it in 2008, 9, 10, and 11.
Oh wow!
And they stopped making it, but I love it. I can't get rid of it. It's got a Springer front end and a big fat front tire and back tire. It's a pretty cool little bike, but it's a comfortable bike. You can't really take it on the interstate very comfortably. So
They're speaking Chinese to me. A Springer in the front. What?
Yeah, I'm sorry, biker life. You know, hashtag biker life. I'm biker loyal too, and I think you guys have probably already figured that out.
So y'all into the big bikes? All I can see is a seat back there, man. Y'all into the crotch rockets or the Harley type shit? What's y'all doing?
Those cruisers.
Yeah, a big old seat for the missus. Yeah, you probably can't.
I see it.
Damn.
Yeah.
You need a big old seat for her, yo. I'm sure she's not gonna like them words.
Yeah, that's definitely the big boy bike. You got to put your big boy pants on to ride that
Now
thing.
that's some touring type shit. What kind of roads were you saying that's not good for? You said something a second ago.
No, I said my other bike. My other bike's not great for touring or long distance. Although I will say, other bike, I took it one time all the way up to Chicago, and then over to Vermont, and then back down the East Coast, and then another time I took it just straight up to Vermont and back. So
This may be a dumb question, but when you're out that much, you run into a lot of rain, right? Well, you know, what's the type of shit do you do when you run into rain? You get hotel
You get
rooms,
wet.
do you do underpass, overpass? What do you do?
I rode all the way through Wolfie's neck of the woods. Actually, the one trip I took to Vermont on my Crossbones, literally the entire Jersey Turnpike I was getting poured on for the entire freaking
So
miles.
you just keep driving. You just keep driving.
All the way up to Connecticut. I just rode through that shit.
Wow, I didn't know that was even an option when you're driving a motorbike. I didn't know that was an option.
Yeah, I did have rain gear on, and I won't lie. At one point, at like 10 o'clock at night, somewhere on the Jersey Turnpike, I pulled under a bridge and hung out for like a half hour, hoping it would clear up, and it.
Right.
I just jumped back on and went.
I thought
Hey,
a motherfucker
Ronald,
did a couple drops and had 87 different maneuvers to do because it's about to rain. You say shit. Sometimes you just gotta drive through that shit.
Yeah, all 87 maneuvers involve you getting soaked.
Hey, did you see my my video when I purchased my bike?
I did not. No.
It's on my channel. I drove from Fort Myers, that the northern part right there of the Everglades. I went through the Everglades for about, I think, 20 miles through the swamp. I caught basically 17 to 78 to 21 to 80 over to not 80, 84 over to Cocoa Beach.
You can ride through roads through the Everglades?
I rode through not only the Everglades, I rode past Lake Okeechobee through those swamps too.
I didn't know you could do that.
I live right there, Maddie.
Huh?
I'm right near Okeechobee. I could probably get to Okeechobee in 45 minutes from my house.
Well, then you know what I went through up 78. You know how desolate that. I did that at 10 o'clock at night.
Nice. North
on
River
a bike that I bought for $1,000 in Fort Myers, sight unseen.
North River Road, 78 North River Road.
Yep, I sight unseen. I bought a bike for $1,000 and drove it 418 miles across the state and over to my house in Palatka.
Wow! And where? You're in Apopka? Is that what you said?
No, Palatka.
Oh, Palatka. Yeah.
I'm up by where 207 starts.
Oh, okay. No, Maddie is not a lawyer. Where did that comment go? I lost it.
Yeah, and nothing I say should be taken as legal advice.
I'm glad y'all said that because I had to assume too.
No, yeah, it's just, to me, it was just good to pick a brain of somebody who might know some things of where to start or whatever. But yeah, Maddie's not a lawyer. Maddie's not representing anybody, nor should anybody perceive. Yeah. So you're going to complete your law degree, though, correct?
Oh yeah, I'm going to go all the way through. But I'm never going to become a bar attorney because I want to be able to take all the advantages of the pro se's. Mm-hmm. So I'll get my master's, which is the same level as a bar certified attorney, but I'll never go bar certified. I'm just going to be at that level.
Yeah, the
And then I
bar is
get-
just the card that you can apply for after that fact, right?
Right. You apply to the Florida bar if you want to practice law.
Yeah.
I don't want to practice law. I just want to be able to handle my own life.
Right. Important stuff too.
Yeah, for
When
sure.
you get into the area of, if you're not a bar approved lawyer, can you advise me without getting in trouble?
No, I can't advise you, but I can tell you what I would do.
Yep.
I appreciate the distinction.
No, Maddie is not and will not give any binding advice,
Right.
but advice, just not binding advice.
Right.
Yeah, just what Maddie would do in the same situation.
Right. He
pretty
said it
much-
well. He said it well. Yeah, he said it well.
Yep.
I was watching this live stream the other day, and this guy in the autonomous zone. I was watching the Resistance, and he was all up in the autonomous zone in Seattle, and he just walked up on this little round sit down discussion that people were having, and this older gentleman there, man, he was telling this younger kid about when he was growing up, his if he messed up, his brothers would keep him in check, right? And that's all he expects from the police officers, to keep their brothers in check. And it reminded me of something that Joe Cool would say, man. And I was like, damn, I love that. I'm gonna freaking remember that forever, and I'm gonna use it when I have to on a cop.
Well, guys, like I said, I do have finals, and everything has to be in by Friday. So I really thank you guys for having me on your show. I really appreciate you. Remember to watch Constitutional Corner. I'm going to be taking you guys step by step through this crazy process, and it's a new Constitutional Corner. It's not what you guys remembered from when I was swearing at cops.
So looking forward to it, Maddie, and good luck on those finals.
Thanks.
Yeah, good luck on your finals, and thank you so much for joining our panel. You really gave good information for the people that are listening, and we all really appreciate your work.
Hey, I appreciate you guys too, man. Thank you guys for being out there. I appreciate it.
I don't appreciate you. I'm a weed head. I gotta follow that act up. I got some hard act to follow. You got all that praise you just got, bro.
Hey, you know what? Sharing is caring. You guys have a good night.
Night.
All right, thanks, Maddie. Yeah, Joe. Now you got some tough shoes to
I
fill.
know, right?
What you got over there, Joe? What is that? What's the name? What's the name of that stuff? What's the strand? What's the strain?
This I don't know. The last one 2 days ago was OG Kush. There's some new niggas I don't know yet.
Oh shit.
But yeah, I was helping out a friend of mine, my sister's friend. She's at the house now. She lost her mom, her dad. She had a stroke. Just so much shit, and she's trying to have a 4th of July party. But I think it's turned more into now she just likes the company. You know what I'm saying? I don't be doing shit in the morning, to having coffee and talking to fucking Joan and shit on the internet. And then again, I broke my phone, so I like to change. I like to not having 87 texts. You notice I haven't received a text, god dog, because my phone been down for a while.
We all need a break from the monotony some points. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I just take a whole day off and don't watch anything.
I used to take like 3 and 4 days. I hadn't done it in a month, so maybe this is them forcing me to do that. But I used to take 3 or 4 days off at a time. I won't even pull my camera out in the streets. I've done that a few times. And I was at a scene one time where 2 people got killed. I beat the police there. I didn't pull my camera out. Overdose. I didn't pull my camera out.
Yeah. People will notice. I'll finally catch up on channels. You'll see me comment on 4 of your latest videos or even more sometimes, but you'll see that I'm binging because you'll see me commenting on all your videos.
That's how I get out. Sometimes I forget to comment and I forget how much that means. You know what I'm saying? Because I watch a bunch of them. I might go through 7 before I even remember. Oh fuck! I should have been commenting type shit.
Yeah, there's a lot I don't comment on, but I do like it. But I just don't come around to being able to comment. I forget, you know what I mean? I move on and I try to throw a couple videos in before I have to do things in life.
I reserve that like shit. I've only liked one of my own videos. I reserve that liked shit. Straight up. I do.
So while these guys were chatting, everybody, I popped up Maddie and the Constitutional Corner's link. I also,
Right.
for a quick second, everybody go in and like that page and subscribe and all that stuff.
Right on. I think I got him when he said he ain't no longer cursing at the cops. It made me think. I think I remember him going live one time. Like, what the fuck is you doing?
So you've been rolling that thing for like 10 minutes, bro.
You know what? It keeps popping open, man. I think I keep talking and never finish rolling this motherfucker.
I mean, I don't know anything about that. I don't know anything about that stuff, but I know that people usually are more competent at rolling those.
You know that much. Hey, at least that motherfucker looks good, man.
I remember the first time I ever.
I'm sorry, I've been slacking on sharing the comments and talking
Do
about
you guys really want the comments?
But yeah, go do it again. Whatever comments you got, Save the Human, do it again, and I'll.
Yeah, funny. Same here.
I missed some of these comments. A lot of these comments I missed.
I was so enthralled in the conversation that we were all having. I really was neglecting the chat.
Hey, Ronald Truett has a few bikes.
But listen, if any
Mr. Truett, post up what in the comments how what kinds of bikes you have. I'm sure News Now South Florida would love.
Heck yeah. But listen, anybody in the chat that feels like they were being neglected, I've got a fantastic solution for you. Jump on the link that I've posted like umpteen times and get up on the panel and say what you got to say, man. That's what Tuesday night's about. Tuesday
you don't
nights.
even have to have your face. Look, you can just be just like that, like Maddie was.
You can hide your ugly face. Matter of fact, Joe, you ought to consider hiding your ugly face.
I was just thinking the same thing.
Oh, damn. I was just kidding.
Police everywhere, too. As soon as my fucking camera give out, police every fucking way.
He says I got to work for it. I'm too lazy.
Scroll back, lazies. I was thinking the same shit.
I'll say hello to Leslie and Noli and all HPR and all these people here.
Oh, yes. SCH.
Hold on one second.
I'm sorry.
One second. Save the Humans. We misinterpreted the comment that Save the Humans made. That we were talking about comments on our videos. Do you guys really want a bunch of comments on our videos? Absolutely.
Yes. I was going to say, man, that's how I judge my shit. By how many comments on there. If in my shit, I don't, know what other motherfuckers, but my shit for every fucking 100 is an average of 10. So if there's 1,000, if I got 1,000 fucking views, there's 100 comments. If I got 5,500 comments, that's normal for me because I talk in my comments a lot. I get a lot of comments. If I don't get a ton of fucking comments, then I know it's just my buddies watching us. So.
Yeah, sometimes you can tell that your channel is being kind of like blacked out by YouTube or the government or whatever, because you can look at, just like Joe said, you can tell by your comments how much like the averages of views per comments, and when you're getting a whole bunch of comments in there and you don't have the views that match up with it,
that's
you're like,
not
come on, something ain't right here.
Yeah, that's not right. Yeah, that's not okay.
But to me, I don't even care because I just put my shit in my channel as a video journal for me and for everyone else to enjoy if they want to. But I want to look back at my channel later on in life, 10, 20 years down the road, all the archive I have saved in my external memories and stuff, and be like, when people were doing this, I did this too, and this is the way I did it, and I can be proud of like my edits and what I've did or said, and I'm not saying I'm all into myself. There's many videos where I'm like, God damn it, Wolfie, like you're an idiot. You should have said this. Damn it, like you had the perfect opportunity.
Every fucking video. Every video, I think there's something I could have, would have said.
And for the first 8 months of my videos, man, I thought my shit just sucked. I cringed watching my own videos until I finally the hate was earned so much that I started to realize, hey, man, I'm gonna do this way, and that's just how it's gonna be. Yeah.
Right. I think
a lot of
motherfuckers gonna watch my shit.
a lot of people don't understand like my style, and my style is on my channel is I try to have a tripped out discussion and make a cop feel like he's on acid.
Us, not us. What's his name? Press On does that shit. I be feeling like I'm on acid listening to his ass sometimes.
That's why you'll have videos where I'm like, you sped here, sir, you sped here. And then the cop gets in a complete argument with me. No, I didn't. Have you even been to speed radar class? And I'm like, you sped. You were going 63 and a 35. I watched you. And I'm totally bullshitting out of my ass, but I like to have this little argument with you guys.
Save the Humans is warning us. Oh, that's funny. My phone just thought I said Siri. Save the Humans is... Save the Humans is warning us, you know, hey, we asked for it. Right? Leave those comments. And honestly, at least as far as I'm concerned, my channel, positive or negative, leave me whatever.
Yeah, I love the comments, man. I love thumbs ups and thumbs downs too.
Let me ask you guys something. We were having a conversation about this earlier. About that Eric Brandt shit. I said that it hurts watching your heroes fall and act out and shit. It's kind of like watching your kids fight. And somebody was saying that, you know, that's what you get for putting them on a pedestal. They're not heroes. And I was saying, surely we're heroes. I think I was in Jeff room. I was like, that shit Jeff does, he's a hero. That shit so-and-so does. I would say the same with you cats. Surely you are the modern day patriots, in my opinion. This is what patriotism looks like. This is what motherfuckers getting up doing something looks like, as opposed to motherfuckers just making comments. This is heavy shit to me. Motherfucker deserves some fucking
so let me comment on that for a second, and a two-part comment since you used two words. I would in no way, shape, or form qualify what I do and what auditors do as heroism.
Either would I.
Not in any way, shape, or form.
Whoa, wait. I'm sorry, I chose the wrong word. Wait. I've been saying heroes. I meant patriots. I've been saying heroes the whole time.
Well, you said patriot too, but you said hero a little bit more.
I'm sorry. I don't even think I meant heroes. I'm sorry.
Let me address modern day patriots. For certain, what we do is patriotism because we are addressing the Constitution. We're addressing what this country was founded upon, the document that made what this nation is today. And
by definition, you're a patriot damn near.
Absolutely. I would say patriotic for sure, because the stuff I do is bringing light to parts of the Constitution that other people don't really understand, realize, notice, care about, whatever words you want to put in there.
Now, there's other kind of heroes out there. You don't have to have a camera to be. I'm not hero. Damn, now you got me doing it.
Now. I did.
Other kind of patriots out there too. You don't need to be carrying a camera. You could pretty much put a blog out and spread your message, as long as you're giving it to people so that they can learn more and maybe spark their brain.
Anybody in these chats, I think, do the same. Just say, do we do? I think through osmosis, when they talk to people, they're talking about the shit we talk about. They're talking about their rights, laws. You know, even if they don't think they do it, they're probably doing it.
Everybody else in here, in the chat right here, everybody in there. I don't even want to say names because you're all, unless you're one of the trolls over there saying stupid stuff. You guys are all patriots for being aware and knowing and sharing these things, or sharing this. I'm sure every one of you guys in here has shared what you have learned or something about what we do with your friends and said, yo, check this out. Check out First Amendment audits. Check out Cop Watchers. Check out this. YouTube Watcher says I'm all into myself. I saw
that.
Dude, it's funny. I always call myself a loser with a camera, and Rights Crispy always says, never call yourself a loser, Wolfie. That's how I feel about I'm humble, man. It looks like I'm a brat on my channel, but I'm a very humble person.
I think even the trolls that are in the chat are patriots, and they're being patriotic. They might
I
be
would
slightly
agree.
excited, they might be slightly misinformed, or
Yes.
skewed perception of what being a good citizen is. But
Yeah.
they're in here watching what we do, listening to what we say, and speaking their opinion on the matter. So even the trolls, I think, are in their own way being patriotic.
And I think we learn from each other. I like hearing different opinions and the shit I hear all the time. I certainly learn from people who, my dad's a cop. My brother was a cop for 20 years. He was a good guy because I'm coming from the total opposite area. No good cop. Fuck, cops suck, girl. So I appreciate that shit. I think I also think that they sow a seed also that we change them enough where when they're out there talking, I think we make them better people and better conversationalists, and they definitely about the rights and shit too.
So
Yeah, that's why. I'm
are there
sorry. Go
any
ahead.
here? Listen, if you're a troll in here, hit 1. We want to see if there's any trolls in here. And then look at this comment: Little Willie Snowflake is not patriotic. I beg to differ. I think he is. I think he's on a different path, and he's looking for a different angle. And I may not agree with it, but he certainly believes he's doing the country a service and the Constitution a service. So I think that makes him patriotic in his own right.
Yeah, if you feel like you're doing something for any righteous cause, I believe that makes you a patriot.
And certainly, as South Florida pointed out, if you're doing this shit directed to the Constitution, whoever said that shit, that definition then means you're being a patriot. You're supporting your country.
Oh, Gunny Grunt and HPR, they're both trolls.
Yep. So
HBR,
Save the Humans and Save the Humans wanted me to really see that.
I can vouch for HBR. He is a horrible troll.
Hillbilly Patriot, I troll my wife constantly.
I love the trolls that say, "Well, you did in this video sets the auditing community back 10 years. You
I'm
really disservice the
unsubbing.
community."
I'm unsubbing. I'll be like, yeah, thanks for the clicks and views, and thanks for the sub, like and sub. I think is what I say. Thanks for the like and sub.
I always say
bye
the same
bye. No snowflakes allowed.
to those people. I always say, you and I both know you were never subbed to begin with.
I think they all sub. I get the same niggas commenting on the same shit, then I'll comment with that thanks for the like and sub. Like, I'm not subbed. My friend told me about this.
Never timed out Save the Humans.
Joe, you're
Get
a
outta
communist.
here.
You're not a patriot, Joe. You hate capitalism, so you're a communist.
Right now, I am. I think there's a lot of socialists right around right now. I think we're all socialists. Everybody trying to fucking get them government handout, government checks. But fucking last week, motherfucker on food stamps was a piece of shit. Now motherfucker sitting back talking about, man, I did not get my fucking whatever is equity check, whatever it's called.
Stimulus. Yeah.
Stimulus check. Yes, a lot of socialists out here now, man. Motherfuckers don't mind so bad when it's them.
Peter Woods says that Joe Cool is a communist because he hates capitalism.
Yeah.
I would say he has an argument, yes. By the definition of what we call communism, no. But yes, I believe, like the mailbox, the U.S. mail, we have socialist programs, but socialism is a dirty word. Communism, in a sense that it's the community coming together, it's a good thing. And in the sense that it's government telling me what to do with my shit, it's a bad thing.
I think when we separate things into labels, I think that's all bullshit. Like,
there's capitalism in a communist society. It's just the people in charge take all the money.
That's right. Yeah, that's how that works.
Look at the virus thing, man. As soon as that shit happened, man, everybody's stitching up and making their own masks, and they're selling them for $6 a piece. You can get a unicorn design. You can get alligators on it, sharks, whatever you want, You just get the fabric, and they're sitting there selling you masks. That's capitalism at its finest. They're just jumping on. They don't care about your health and well-being. They're just like, hey, while this is happening, I could just make little small cloth masks and make a 600% profit off of it. Hell yeah.
Send this girl a link, man.
Himself with his own channel, HBR did. That's pretty funny. And this is a good point too. And like I just said about capitalism, communism. There's capitalism and socialism as well. It's just that the government distributes the funds, right? But it's the same thing. There are stores that are open to people to go buy things, but the government takes that proceeds and just distributes them. And in communism, it's the same way. Only the government just keeps the money and doesn't distribute it.
Yeah, there's no corner that you can go to, whatever label you want to give it, where there's not capitalism involved. It's just a part of human nature and not human nature. It's a part of survival as humans.
Oh, yeah, kitty. How's it going? Oh, there's Joe. He's back.
I suck at that. I was just trying to send a fucking text, respond to a text. I suck at that. I come back in the stream, y'all gone. I suck at that shit.
Yeah, I don't know how to do that either, man. I don't touch anything when I'm on this thing.
I get kicked off so many fucking times. Oh my goodness, you won't believe. Probably I'd have did at least a couple times a day alone. At least. I can do it a couple times a stream.
StreamYard's good at that. I wish they would fix it and give an update to the app, but
I know, right? I don't know what the fuck. You gotta be more forgiving.
HPR is a journeyman in hillbilly ingenuity.
I was 20 minutes. I say this all the time, but I was 20 minutes from HPR. We were in Nashville downtown, and he was on the way. And Chuck didn't want to wait. He was like, "I'm damn near there." And it's like as soon as I told Chuck he wanted to leave.
You didn't get to see him? You didn't get to see him?
I did not. We were that fucking close. We had been down there. We weren't doing nothing but shooting the shit and filming bars and shit. Everybody partying.
Damn.
Yeah.
Man, HPR. I heard HPR's house is like friggin' Hugh Hefner's. You really missed out on a good time.
I guess I'm glad I didn't go because I would have wanted to fish. I wouldn't have wanted to leave. He fish all the time. He fish all the time.
Open question. What software do you use for editing? I use Adobe, but I was stupid and I didn't get Adobe. I don't remember. There's Adobe Pro, there's Adobe Premiere, and I got whatever one of the two of Pro and Premiere are not as good. That's the one I got.
I use Sony Vegas Pro,
and I've never edited anything. Yeah.
Joe Cool is like Rogue Nation or Southeastern PA, especially Southeastern PA. He puts that shit up raw. He can't even put it all together. He just puts it in parts.
I remember
my shit
Genesis.
My shit's not interesting enough to do the whole video. And, I usually have like 3 cameras going. So I like to kind of mix and match the body cam with the regular cam.
I don't want to show people 10 minutes of me waiting around for the cops or whatever and shit. I'd rather just give them a minute here and then flash forward.
I'm sorry, texting again. I hope I don't get disconnected.
If you jump off, we know why. Any recommendations for my first camera with zoom? It depends on what you want, Proto News Media. If you want a really good zoom, don't get the camera I got because my zoom sucks. And honestly, Rogue Nation, whatever camera he uses, and you can go to any one of his videos, and in the description, he's got the links for all of his equipment on Amazon. And his camera has got the best freaking zoom I've ever seen on an auditor. I mean, he can zoom in from way the hell out. So I think
DSLR, right?
I don't know what he's got. I think he's got like a Sony Handycam type camera. I don't know.
A Vivitar is what the. Did you see the video at Savannah, Georgia military camp?
Yeah, the Vivitar is his 360 camera.
Oh, okay. I got you.
Yeah, here, watch this. I'm gonna pull up his channel. You keep talking. Go ahead.
Right. Has anybody seen that video from Rogue Nation? He put it out like about less than a week ago. He calls it Laurel and Hardy, a silent
Oh, yeah,
film.
that was fucking hilarious.
What
I
a
try to watch
couple
all this shit, but
douchebags.
it don't ring a
I
bell.
couldn't stop watching it. It was so dang funny. I got that pulled up right here.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna.
Rogue just didn't talk at all, and these guys wanted to be clowns and jokers and just talk amongst each other and act. They were so pompous the way they
In
talked.
South Florida, you might get a strike playing that nigga video, man. If Rogue don't like you, you better
I'm
make
not
sure
playing
you
it. I'm not gonna play it. Let me get rid of this.
I'm kidding.
Rogue
That nigga
don't give
wouldn't
a
strike
shit.
you. I'm kidding.
Rogue don't give a shit if anybody played his shit.
Look at
I'm
this
kidding.
video. I'm gonna play just a second of it. Oh, you know what I forgot to do though? I gotta start over. I forgot to click the damn box that said
And share the sound.
that says the sound. But so before I do that, let me look here. Can we see it? Let me make it bigger.
Yeah, his camera stuff. Yep.
Yeah.
His
So look
links.
at if you go to any video of his, and you go to the description, right here, equipment, right there. You guys see that?
Yeah.
This,
Yep.
Rank does that.
So he's got a Sony Handycam CX405. That's his main camera. And I'm telling you, that thing's got a crazy zoom. So if you click on this link, here it comes in Amazon, and he gets a couple bucks probably if you buy it off of Amazon. And it's 9.2 megapixels, so that's pretty good. Should say here on the zoom somewhere. I don't know where though, but it's got a crazy good zoom. And then
he's got a great camera, man.
Cost you're looking at $268 right now on Amazon,
which is way decent right there. It's about the cost of Southeastern PA's camera.
It didn't open. It didn't open when I opened it. It stayed on his other channel. Sorry. When I opened it, it gave me a link to Amazon, and I thought you guys saw it. Sorry. But anyway, it's a good camera. It's a good zoom camera if that's what you're looking for.
Mm-hmm.
I think I might upgrade pretty soon to that one and ditch my other camera because my other camera sucks. My other camera's some off-brand, crappy camera.
I got a handheld, man. I don't think I've ever even used it. I remember letting one of my friends borrow it once. I don't think I've ever even used it.
I'd rather just have my phone, man. I could just put it right in my pocket, whip it right out of my pocket as fast as I can, take it out,
It's
put it back in.
everywhere. And then just the immediate thought of carrying two cameras. You know, maybe if I'm going somewhere particular or something, but you know, man, what I don't really see the fucking logic if you got a dope ass camera on your phone. My last one had a really good camera. People was
yeah, the one that was stolen.
And you can't do the what happened? What did I do? I shared the wrong screen.
The one that was stolen, the phone that was stolen from me by the state police way back in March and still stolen. I only got to make one video with it. It got wide angle, super stable mode. I can run with it.
You
can
shitting me?
Yeah, and they stole it like 3 weeks after I had it. Now I was like, I'm gonna not buy a camera. I'm not gonna buy a new phone until they steal one from me. And then I was like, man, ain't nobody stole my phone, man. I owe it to the people who watch my channel to have a better camera. And I finally bought the new phone, and boom, got it stolen.
Damn.
I see it in my false arrest body cam footage. I'm like, man, I missed that phone with that red case. God damn.
Yeah, that's brutal.
All right, I got it finally. Okay, ready? Watch this.
These jokers.
Let me go here. We'll watch just a second of this because it's so darn funny.
Did you share the sound?
I did. I think so. Can you hear it?
No, it's really low.
Usually we get something.
There it is.
What are we talking? I never get to talk to anybody. So yeah.
He's
it's just me and my car, yeah.
5 minutes into it. It goes for like 30 minutes of them just talking.
talking about they like cheese dip or whatever the hell, just stupid shit to each other.
It's hilarious.
Friends for life.
Wait, we got to get to the part where they're like staring into his camera. That's so funny.
Yeah, it's way towards the end. That's the funny. All they were trying to do was block his view of the gate.
And COVID.
Interesting.
This is true. Rob Elbows. Rob Elbows.
Where were they like staring into? Oh, right here, right here. Check this out.
Was the captain still there? No. No, he left already.
Oh, look at that.
Can't see nothing in there.
I can see right through the eyeball.
Whoa.
Thing up on top.
Does it like get really closer because of the
Well, I
lines?
don't even know why there's a thing on top because it's looking through that. But that sees nothing.
That sees nothing. Can you get?
It's all through this.
It's all through there. Okay.
This is
Crazy.
show.
I wonder. I don't know.
Yo, just straight
What if that's the
douchebags.
magnifier? No, that can't be the magnifier. Right? What if it's just a secondary camera?
Oh, it's not connected to anything. It's just on that fucking metal piece.
Maybe
They're
the
trying to distract.
wiring is through it.
It's bobbing and weaving.
No, I don't see any wire in the
Ah.
It's a very good question.
Sony, what's going on?
Oh, it's so
That's
funny.
pretty intense.
AV something YCam. Zeiss. Video TSR. 1.8 by 1.9 57. So I'm assuming that's
Oh my
like
god.
zoom.
I think that's one of those stickers that say don't do
60s
drugs.
clear image. Zest.
Megapixels.
There it goes. Thank you.
Oh.
ZEISS is what I'm assuming.
Oh, it's blinking red. Does that mean it's dying?
Battery going?
Maybe it just means sporting.
That's a pretty dog. You're welcome.
Yeah. Now it's selfie time.
Oh, Avatar 360.
It's just got fishy.
Dual camera.
I think it's trying.
Okay.
That's crazy.
So maybe that is for like either Vivatar. I'm gonna have to look into that. My buddy
Vivatar.
does
You
a lot
do
of
like two
pictures.
pictures at the same time. That'd be cool.
He's a
Are you saying
Vivatar.
like this one and this one all at
Yeah.
the same time?
Yeah.
That'd be kind of cool because then you could do like super large pictures.
Yeah.
The panorama.
What a bunch of idiots.
These guys were pretty
Now
much
what
just
do they
amusing
talk about?
themselves, you know, trying to be stars on a channel and shit. And you know what's funny? At the end of it, the only thing that Rogue says is GoPro turn off and be
Yeah.
right before he leaves. And that's, I guess he removes it from his harness. I'm not sure, but then they're able to read his shirt and say, "Oh, Rogue Nation audits is what it says." So the funniest part about that video is Rogue pinned his own comment to the top of the comment section under that video where it says, "I was the guy that they were talking about, was at the other gate 7 hours earlier that day." Because he knows that they're going to end up seeing it because they found out what his channel was.
Ah.
It's so funny though, man. The whole thing, man.
Yeah. Listen, all of you guys in this chat need to go watch that video. I swear to God, it's from start to finish. Those two cops are so funny and stupid. You have to listen to them. You just got to watch the entire thing. It's so hilarious.
You can tell, man. They
They're
have
talking about everything. They're talking about their cookout they had and shit. I don't know.
I'm with
Their tires, their trucks.
they're distracting, right? Ain't that what they're doing? They're distracting. They don't know any better. They think we're accomplishing our goal by keeping them from filming.
That's what they were doing. They were putting prior restraint on because every time he tried to film around them, they would kind of shift over.
Ah.
They were just blocking the whole like security protocol at the gate that he could see from public.
And they just making shit worse. Motherfucker would have been got tired of filming that gate. But if a motherfucker come out here and want to talk about his sneaker size and potato chips, damn it, for 30 minutes, yeah, I'm going to film it too.
Yeah. And all at the same time trying to get him to answer questions just to hear his voice.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really hilarious. I mean,
I bet
I
you if Rogue Nation did talk in that video, that they would have been
Worse off.
clowned. They
Yeah,
would have
they'd
been
have been
clowned and
worse off.
salty.
Yes,
Yep.
they'd been much worse off. Yeah. That remind me of Rogue. Remind me of that Johnny 5-0 shit. You know, Johnny do epic shit.
Yeah, Johnny Fovo's the man.
Yeah.
He's an OG.
Yeah. That's
One
the
of the
shit,
first
Rogue.
channels I saw behind I think the John Felix pullover video came up first out of nowhere. And then I was like, what? But he doesn't really do what we all do too much. He just ran when it happens, and he records it. But
How did he get? He got like 250,000 subs or something, I think.
man, dude, that traffic stop, man, got him like 20 million views or something. And then after that video, I saw James
What
Freeman
happened in
video.
the traffic stop? I'm sure I saw it. I remember even seeing his face in the traffic stop. I don't know.
Yeah, he called him a sovereign citizen and all that shit. The cop, he wouldn't roll down his window. He asked him if he had a gun. He said, I don't answer questions and all that shit. Then that video rolled into a James Freeman video. That video rolled into a Johnny 5-0 video. That video rolled into the next, to the next, to the next, and boom, here I am. I said, man, this is cool. I want to start doing shit like this and fuck with cops. Shit. The thing I hate the most though is when people say, you know, you're supposed to be out there to educate or do this or do that. I don't think it's all about that. I think everybody has their own style. I think we're all just really pretty much trying to show and flex our right to record in public, and however you go about it is how you do, right or wrong.
I appreciate different methods and approaches. I would hate to think that everybody is doing it like me. And when I first jumped down, a lot of motherfuckers give me, okay, Joe, now you're supposed to go file a report. Okay, now we need you to do this and that. But, you know, they don't do that. Now they accept the motherfucker for what he is.
Yeah, you still get the occasional person. I love the trolls that just randomly assume that shit isn't happening in the background and say, if you're not suing, then it doesn't mean shit and you shouldn't even be doing this. Like, where does that comment even come from? Like, out the blue and shit.
Yes, I know. I get that shit.
Every video educates somebody.
I just want to spark the idea.
I think
you know?
so, yes. It amazes
just like
me.
the John
I
Felix
comments on old videos.
Yeah, just like the John Felix video, right? I didn't see any of this before that, and John Felix isn't really an auditor, and he'll tell you that. He just records when he has a situation, right? But and he doesn't like what the hell they're doing and shit. Total support for John Felix too, man. He got the word out to so many people. Like Tupac said, right? What was it exactly? I don't want to be, you know, I'm not saying I'm, you know, like a hero or something like that. I just want to spark the mind of the person that's going to be that. You know?
Okay with that.
So if you watch my video and you say, hey, Wolfie sucks, you know what I'm saying? He's annoying too. He talks too much and shit. But then you find Joe Cool's video right after mine and the little thing, and you're like, oh, Joe Cool's the fucking shit. And then you find another channel that you like from that, and you don't subscribe to me, but you subscribe to them, and you start paying attention, my job is done, bro. Like, that's all I want.
Man,
how come in your little story, how come I couldn't be the shit? How come I couldn't be the shit in your little story?
Oh. And then you run into News Now South Florida banging out videos. And you're like, yo, I love his fucking cowboy hat and his hair and shit. Yo, that's my guy. Whatever it takes, as long as like y'all can say, look, this guy sucks and never subscribe to me. But as long as you found this shit, like I've gotten some messages, like I found all this stuff through you, and I'm like, wow, you know, that's like the most important shit I could ever hear.
Yes,
like, I didn't even know about this until I saw one of your videos.
Yes, I had one that struck me, man, because I be trying to run from that timing alert must see shit. So my shit, a lot of my shit be having really weird titles and shit, you know, mirrors, echoes, or just one word shit. And some chick had sent $20 to my PayPal. She say, you know, if you change the titles of your videos, you have many more subscribers and many more views. But I think you already know that. Here's $20. I thought that was cool. Somebody paying attention, man.
Oh yeah, and that is true in some cases. If you throw like First Amendment audit or cop watch in the title somewhere, people do go and search for like the newest cop watches and the newest audits and all that shit. I don't even like call it an audit or whatever. I just like calling it a free American with a camera pointing from
Right. I
public, but
don't
that's too
call
long.
it. I'm getting to where I won't call it cop watch either. I think that was Nevaeh pointed it out that if you're really a true cop watcher, you're probably just watching at a distance. Any motherfucker that feels as compelled as I do to get involved is probably an activist.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Uh,
Yeah, there's one thing like you can cop watch from your car across the street, just pull over.
yes,
You'll
right?
still get the footage of the beat down if it happens, but you just won't
You're
get the
a cop
audio.
watcher. Yes, you're a cop watcher. I gotta be there to be like, oh, you can't go in his pockets, bro. Hey, did you ask permission to search your trunk, man? Oh, okay, don't worry. I'm gonna be out here for you till they leave. I'm compelled to fucking get involved.
Exactly. And
yeah.
And when like I tried explaining this before, like in older videos, you'll see me. I'm here just in case the cops rough somebody up. Now you got those commenters in there that say you just want to harass cops that are trying to do their job and all that shit. Like, dude, I could have caught in my 2 years. I could have caught that cop with his knee on somebody's neck. The guy that got the video footage doesn't even do what we do. He just happened to be there, and that's all. That's all I'm trying to say is pull out your camera and record these guys every damn time, dude. That's all the point is.
Right. You damn right.
The point ain't sitting there to never going to change the cop's mind about what he's doing because they're already in that freaking mindset. All you can do is expose them so much that to a point where that big video comes out and they're completely embarrassed, and maybe their department uses it as to tell the other employees, don't do what this guy did.
Well, I know they're doing that shit about me. Everybody that's been in my videos been transferred, moved, and all of that shit. So
good, hell yeah, like Matos, man. Oh, you guys are gonna kill me, And I felt it was important to put everything kind of Matos did in there, and like just to show everybody what kind of a tyrant this guy was, or self-entitled police officer he was, and now South Florida says he sees him walking around with no stripes. He's not a corporal anymore.
Oh wow!
Yeah, we're gonna show you that right now. You ready for this? Watch this.
That's interesting.
Here comes Mr. Matos. You ready for this freaking idiot? All right, let's see. Make sure I get there. Make it big here. Here's. All right, guys. Tomorrow I'll do some. Wolfie was with me. News Now California was with me. Rights Crispy, GA. Who else was there? Was that it? Here he comes. Standing on the. This guy right here. That's Matos. See his stripe?
Yeah.
See those pretty little
public sidewalk.
You got it on video.
Actually, I put my body camera on. So yes, when you guys come surrounding my vehicle with stuff in your hands, then I find out it's all cameras. Okay, so you're surrounding my vehicle.
What's with the finger action he's got, man? He's all about that finger. Let's watch that again.
Actually, I put my body camera on. So yes, when you guys come surrounding my vehicle with stuff in your hands, then I find out it's all cameras. Okay, so you're surrounding my vehicle while I'm conducting traffic, running radar. Okay, so I was instructed to tell you once again, you must leave, or you will have charges filed upon against you. Okay? I already know one of you, so I guess.
He says you must leave, or you will have charges filed upon against you.
Against every one of you.
And then he says, "Well, I already know one of you." He's referring to me, right?
Okay.
Yeah, watch. Okay, so now, hold on. Watch this.
That's the hoodie. I was wearing the hoodie there where that News Now South Carolina sent me. That's awesome.
All right, now watch this. I didn't even realize when I was on this call until damn near the end of the call, which is right about here. So first of all, Captain Jens waves to me and says, "How's it going, Captain Jens?" And then watch this. Bet you he didn't know I knew him. That's Matos right there. I didn't even realize it at first. Watch this. Holy shit. Look at this. Look. That's Matos. Look at what's missing right here. Look who that is. I didn't even know he was here. Corporal Matos.
Wow.
Well, I don't see any stripes on his.
Yeah, I don't see him. I don't see those 2 chevrons.
Look at nothing. And then
So what was the outcome there with all y'all out there? Y'all think he got buzzed down for that shit?
Well, so check this out. Somebody, I want to say it was Save the Humans, but I don't. Save the Humans, tell me if it was you when I say this. Somebody emailed me and they said that they called the Arcadia Police Department. They said they called the Arcadia Police Department and asked Matos's rank. They said he was Officer Matos. So
That's dope. That's what I'm talking about, dude. That's like change right there. This dude shouldn't be a commanding officer to anyone.
That's a big deal too, man. That's a big deal, man. You know, usually they don't go that extra step like that, man. That's got to be encouraging as fuck. But did I hit a part about or did the fireworks start? What is it about that dude? Did something happen in that video that got him to lose his stripes? In the video with y'all?
I've got about 4 or so videos, maybe 5, with him. You know, I'm in Arcadia. He's one of my hometown cops.
He misbehaves often.
Yeah, well, one night I went out. The very first video I have involving him is a video that I was just a cop watching, and I was like 50, 60 feet away from him, and he came over barking orders for me to move and move to the side over here, blah blah blah. So I got his body cam, and I started getting on his shit. And then I have another video where I was putting one of my business cards on the windshields of these cop cars that were at Beef O'Brady's. And he comes walking out when I was putting a card on his car. And I didn't know it was his car. And I was like, "Oh, Corporal Matos, I was just leaving you a business card." And he's like, "No, don't touch my car." And I'm like, "Oh, did you mean my car? You mean our car?" And then there was the video where Wolfie was there. And then there was, I've got the original. Oh, I'm sorry. Wait, the very first original video involving Matos was when he came to the court, the tax collector, and went hands-on with Rogue Nation immediately, and then threatened arrest if we didn't ID ourselves for a trespass warning. And it was Rogue Nation's wife's birthday, and we were like, "Listen, we're not looking to go to jail today. Here's our ID. We'll settle this."
Y'all folded. Y'all squared. Y'all folded. No, I'm kidding. Okay.
Yeah, that's what they all say. You guys caved. Oh my god! But they're not in the situation.
We folded. We folded to the point where he got demoted and sued.
I can remember.
He got sued out of his own bank account by Rogue Nation after he went and grabbed Rogue Nation's arms, but I don't think he cuffed them, but he grabbed them by the arms and put them behind his back or something like that. And then after all that, we were all sitting over at News Now South Florida's bonfire. It's me, News Now South Florida, Rights Crispy, Government Accountability or GA, and News Now California, and we're all just like, all right, let's just go out and look for this guy. Boom. News Now South Florida takes us right to. He's like, that's him right there, sitting in that truck. Let's pull in. He's like doing traffic duty.
Wait, I called it before that. We were driving down the road, and I said, "Watch this. We'll drive south on 17 for a few minutes, and we'll see a cop. They always sit right there." And sure as shit, him and Nunez were sitting there, and that's right, GA, Nunez's sweet face. Him and Nunez were sitting there, which, by the way, Nunez left Arcadia PD and got a job with DeSoto Sheriff instead, probably
So
because she
then,
was sitting under Matos.
so we all come up to record him, and he goes, "Oh, you guys are surrounding me. That's illegal." And then he calls a bunch of backup, and then the sheriff's department, which is around the corner there too, also came. When they came, they just rolled right off. They were like, "What the fuck?" You know, like, this guy's an idiot. You know, and they just left. And
Ain't
then,
want no
you know, he
parts
got
of that
butthurt
shit.
and mad about that, so he went to the sheriff's office to complain, I guess, to them or whatever he was doing. We didn't know he was going there. We were like, let's hit the sheriff's office next. We get there, and there he is. And he comes out the door talking about, "You guys are trying to kill me. You guys are trying to kill me." Oh, dude. And that's probably what made him lose his stripes.
Oh, that's horrible. That's
He said, this is harassment at this point. I've got a family to get home to. And then Rice Krispie says, so do I. And Matos said, I don't care.
that sounds familiar. That sounds familiar. I might have seen that bit.
You don't
then
care?
he got in his car and he slammed the door so hard that the whole SUV shook and rocked.
Yeah, they're trained, man. Like people say, the problem is they need more training. No, they're well trained. That's what they do. What they're supposed to do. They're supposed to keep us at a distance. They're supposed to keep us in line so that the wealth can go about their day-to-day activities. They do their job. That's what they're trained to do.
Right on.
You saw it right here. You saw it right here. No stripes on Matos' sleeve anymore. Gotta love that.
It's beautiful.
Yeah, I was just thinking a prick.
Go ahead, Joe.
This prick that I was at war with, and I was trying to catch him. I was leaving on my beds. I was getting close. He was running to the car and driving off on me. He was supposed to be our new top cop. He moved in next to the mayor here. He was shoveling her snow. And they gave it to another job to another guy. I was like, yes, I was all happy and all of that bullshit. And then I see that he got the job now overseeing the fucking police review board. So this evil prick, the worst Uncle Tom ass cat I could ever imagine. Couldn't wait to chase him. I had an up and down emotion. Oh yes, all right, he's gone. Oh boo, he's about to be the mayor's fucking henchman. Yes, he lost that position. Oh damn, but now he's overseeing crooked cops and he's the worst.
Yeah. What's up, GA?
Welcome back, GA.
GA, what's up, baby?
I got the juice now, so.
Is that a good prison, motherfucker? What does that mean?
His phone was overheating and stuff.
Okay, Bishop.
No, the phone overheats after being on here too long and starts to die on me. I jumped in right out of work. I was still eating my dinner and stuff earlier, so. But yeah, we had a little discussion about case law and stuff in here, and then I jumped in the chat and we were talking about the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, and that's why I was asking you. Somebody's driving one of the things you got over there, man. It's not South Florida, but no, they were talking about the Capitol Hill Autonomous Zone, and then I went and I've only seen a couple of videos, but it's pretty like weird, like what's going on out there, I guess.
Yeah, the Resistance went there live today, earlier today.
I was trying to watch it. I was trying to watch some of it, but I only got through a little bit of it, and then I had to go do something else.
He was all in the mix. He showed you everything in that little 6 block span and shit, pretty much. And he went there the other night, and there was gunshots ringing out, but that was at nighttime. In the daytime, it was a different contrast. But nobody's really the news people aren't going in there. Like NBC.
Did you see the video that cameras everywhere posted where the dude got his phone jacked up out there? Like they don't want people recording in there because
drugs.
So that, well, or whatever they're doing. I mean, I'm sure you have people that are just out there protesting and doing whatever they want, but you got people that are probably running around and taking advantage of the situation.
Right.
Why else? Why would they? You know, our issue with them, at least one of them, is the filming thing. Why I can't film around this motherfucker? And do I really got to get my camera taken with an armed man by an armed man and all that bullshit?
That's what I was saying in the comments in the resistance thing when they were telling them don't record. I was like, so what? You kicked out the tyrants and replaced them with other tyrants? I don't get it. And like, you know, it's a victimless crime, just like putting a needle in your arm, your own arm is, or sewing your ass. You know, they're all victimless crimes. The camera, you know, you're not even harming yourself. You're just pushing the camera around and pointing it around. I thought this was all about freedom. And you repaint the Seattle police station, the people station, instead of the police station or department. So how are you going to sit there and tell people don't record what's going on? Like, don't you
Immediately
want?
remove one dictator and replace him with another.
Yes, and wouldn't you want people to see that it's not as bad as the news is trying to say? Because according to the fake news, they're making it look like when martial law happens, it's their fault. You know, and that's the agenda I think they're trying to push. They're letting all these people protest and riot. So when they do push martial law, they're going to be like, y'all started it and blame it on us because
Somebody
of the
else
way they're
said that
covering it.
today. They said that's also why they don't suppress our bids. Some they do that COVID shit because apparently they have to, but shit like us, they want us to kick off some type of shit to waken motherfuckers and make them act up, and then they can bring the hammer down.
Yeah,
Somebody
and then
here
they get
said
all the
that.
sheep behind them. The sheep, they get the sheep on their on board with what their agenda is. And the sheep, man, they've already been trained. You could go, you can't even go 2 blocks down the street without seeing somebody with a blue line flag hanging from their house. You
Oh,
know?
well, Maddie was already touching on that point while she was in here about how many people just support without even knowing half of what goes on. You know what I mean? Like they just blindly support. Even when it comes down to just the government in general, it's like they expect that they're just going to take care of them. They're going to protect them. They're going to do everything for them. No, it's up to you. You got to take care of you.
Government has become daddy. How you doing, sugar baby? Your government.
The way oh my bad. I didn't mean to cut you
I
off.
was going to say the fucking police lost dog. The police has to deal with it. You have an argument with your wife. Police got to deal with it. A man has a mental disability. Police have to do this. Marriage counselor.
Yes.
They become everything. Everything. You're supposed to
That's
call
why
them
people
out.
always think that we're gonna like, oh well, what are you gonna do when somebody comes to? I'm gonna have to deal with it at that point in time. The only thing that that you call them for is to take a report. They're not gonna come. They're not gonna come to your rescue.
They pretty much strip away. They pretty much strip away your Second Amendment rights, like as far as they can. You know, you gotta get a permit and permission and all that shit. And then, like, you know, some cases you can open carry, and some cases you can't open carry. You can only, or you can't conceal carry. You can only open carry, or none of the above.
Right.
And then you pay the police for that Second Amendment right back.
Yes, all stripping your shit away, and then you have to barter and go jump through hoops to get it back.
And like GA said, they come after the fact. Now, if you could just carry, you could defend yourself, but they don't want. They consider our natural rights chaos. And when you look in
it away and have it on them, that's what they want.
They want us to believe that they can be everywhere at once if they're just enough cops. We can prevent the crime. That's not true. You respond to fucking phone calls.
Mm-hmm.
Look, even with this these places that are implementing mandatory masks, they're starting to do it out in counties down here too. And you know, they got officials that are making points. Well, what are we gonna do? Like, what's gonna happen with the cops? And they're responding to all these calls about people not wearing masks. Why would people call about people not wearing masks? Right. That's not an emergency. And they even referenced like people calling 911 for people. Why would you call 911 for people not wearing masks? It's not an emergency.
Some they was on lockdown, in some town and you can only go out for certain reasons. Some kid looked like he was barely out of his teens, was driving off. His neighbor come over, start beating on his window. You gotta go home. It's after curfew. You can't be out here. I'm calling the police. I just called the police on you. And he was dying.
Nobody
Man.
worry
He was
about
laughing.
themselves anymore, man. You know, the craziest thing I've seen, just living where I'm living, is I went out on the porch to smoke one night, and I could hear somebody arguing like two doors down. No neighbor went up and knocked on the door and asked them to keep it down at all. The first person that went to the door was a police officer, and I said, "What the fuck is the world coming to? Where you can't even ask your neighbor to keep it down anymore. The first thing you think of to do is to call the police to have them deal with that."
Yes.
Which just reiterates the point you made, Joe.
Yo, you know what? If you
I
would
say
just
it
go over
reiterates
there,
Wolfie's point that the sheep are well trained.
check this out. Check this out now, because we're gonna correlate. Look what I'm gonna do here with the masks too. I'm gonna make it involved. If you would have just walked over to your neighbor's house and said, "Hey, excuse me, could you please turn down the volume?" instead of just calling the police first, you could protect their life, almost like wearing a COVID mask. You know, that's all. That's
No.
playing
Fuck
your
that.
part.
Like staying home watching Netflix. I saved 5 lives. Let motherfuckers tell it anyway. I ate ice cream and watched Netflix. I saved lives apparently. I was a hero last night. What the fuck is that about?
Yeah, that's the whole thing they push. Like you guys are all heroes, man. You guys are playing your part. And listen,
Right.
don't be calling me a hero because I wear some paper mask that doesn't even work, you know?
I
Those are
know, right? That's ineffective. I heard
That's an interesting
that
comment down there.
I heard
Yeah,
that
you
no
like that?
asymptomatic COVID patient has ever transmitted the disease. If you didn't hear
Yeah,
me, I heard that no asymptomatic COVID patient has ever transmitted the disease.
Did I ever tell you News Now South Florida in relation to that comment that's down there? The inspector Cookie actually helped locate a stolen car in another state by pulling records on something.
Oh no, shit! No, you didn't tell me that. That's funny.
Yeah,
But that is a good comment. Cops do seem to be able to respond to auditors in minutes, but hours for other calls.
that's what
No,
they.
he said they get out records in minutes, but it take hours to respond to a fucking call.
Yeah, I think
I don't know
didn't
what.
Cat Johnson say like last week or early yeah, I guess it was last week now that if you're ever in a situation where you're getting like robbed or you're seriously in trouble, just tell them that you're recording government officials. they'll respond in
Yeah,
no time.
right. Yeah, so instead of calling and saying "Help, I'm being robbed," call and say somebody here has a camera.
Yeah, it's a camera, right?
Cops will be there in a second for you.
That is true.
How is the facial recognition going to work? How is actually start working if everybody's wearing a mask? It's funny.
Yeah, you know it's really funny. The bank when they reopen or if they have reopened in your town, they insist you wear a mask to come into the bank.
Yeah, that is funny.
You know they're not the places that are mandating masks here. Government agencies are exempt. Religious, like churches and stuff like that, nonprofits, and I think there's like one other one too. So they can meddle in everybody else's business, but you can't tell them what to do.
That's exactly what my fucking mind went to. You get to determine who gets their fucking rights and shit now,
Well,
for whatever reason.
The mask is a personal choice unless you're going into a private business who decides to go with the CDC guidelines, or they're scared into the CDC guidelines because they try to penalize you and fine you left and right, and they've
That's
already
right.
taken away
You don't
like
have
3
6
freaking months.
Tape
It's a
on you,
personal
this and that. We're gonna shut you down if you don't have a 6 feet so and so, and the plexiglass shield. We're gonna shut you down.
The way that they're running it here or in the places that it's mandating sounds like they're leaving it up to the owners, to encourage. Now, like in a place like a restaurant, you really, I mean, they might come in wearing masks, but when they're sitting down eating anything they have to, like a service where they're gonna have to use have their nose or mouth exposed, then they can do it temporarily. But just like if you have one of those jobs, if you work at one of those places, you don't really have choice. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, and it's a personal choice. Go ahead.
The public has no choice. Yeah, businesses have a choice to either decide that they want to ruin their business by telling a customer that they have to wear a mask in order to come in, or they're going to be lax on it, and then they have to deal with getting fines or whatever after that point.
I like this. Solo Yacker says all you have to do is tell them that a mask is a health risk to you, and they can't do any of it because of HIPAA laws.
Yeah, that's interesting, right? They can't
Some
go get
people
pregnant.
can't wear the mask.
Yeah.
Because of their health issues.
That makes sense. If you tell them it's a medical reason,
Mm-hmm.
you divulge your medical personal information. So because it's a HIPAA issue. What about a religious issue? Are there any religions that make it so you can say you can't wear a mask? I don't know.
I'm sure there's an exemption for that too.
It's got to be, yeah.
Well, yeah, because religious functions and was exempt with government agencies.
Right. They didn't even want to get into it, so they exempted them because they were afraid to even get into it. They know
separation of church and state.
Well, what about us? They know we're not organized. They can fucking take our shit and they'll get away with it. If churches was gonna act out, they were showing it already.
I don't know how people in Florida with the humidity can even wear a mask outside.
Right.
Yeah, I don't wear a mask outside at all. I enjoy fresh air. I don't want to get my lips chapped in the summer by wearing a mask either. Sweating my damn ball.
Especially with your rank at.
You blowing steam against your face.
I love wearing my fucking mask. I've been getting kicked out of stores looking for an excuse to wear my mask for years. Getting kicked out, you can't have that in here. You got to take that hood off. Now, like somebody said, I could walk into a bank with my hood and mask on, and I'm a good citizen. Well done, sir. What can I do for you? I still look for excuses to wear my shit every time.
Joe, you should wear one of those masks with the eye and mouth hole. One of those black masks with the eye and mouth. That should be your mask.
I hear you, but that shit, that sounds over the fucking top, even for me, man. Fuck that. I like my shit. I like the half mask. I do. And that motherfucker done scared people before.
What's that, GA? What's that?
I think that's called a ski mask.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Ski mask.
Wear a ski mask with a COVID mask over top of the mouth.
With the mouth open anyway. What are we doing?
Now, a lot of people have been trying to point out that, or make a point that there's statutes in Florida that say that you're not supposed to wear a mask on the public way, but they don't read further into it to find the applicability part that says that unless you're intending to deprive somebody of their rights or intimidate somebody, then you can't get popped for that. But they're trying to say, oh, well, you told us that it was illegal to wear a mask, and now it's mandatory. And
which is it, motherfucker?
Yeah, it's crazy. I'm with you, Joe. I think it's funny that before it was a big deal to people. They would use it as a reasonable suspicion. I think they still are using it. I've heard calls where and I've sent out emails where I was trying to find out if I was going to be hassled for being out past curfew if I was if I was media, and they were saying, well, if you're wearing a mask and you're walking around with a baseball bat, then you might get stopped or something like that. But of course, I wasn't doing any of that. But they still made the point that a mask is still suspicious to them. So
yeah, I just saw a video today where a guy had got shot. I'm sorry, I don't think he got shot. I think he got choked out, and then they gave him a shot, and he died. Had a couple heart attacks. But he was listening to his music and waving his hands around, dancing, and somebody called a suspicion. When they called in, they was like, "Yeah, it's a black guy. He's wearing a mask." and that was enough. Anything else, he's waving his hands around. You think he's got a gun? No. But you know, he could be, or maybe he's okay. I don't know. He was out there, and that was the excuse. Hey, I got a call. He had a mask on. Okay.
Joe, did you see the video that Big Nick posted where the cop showed up and the sergeant slammed the guy and broke his wrist, and then it turned out it wasn't even the guy they was looking for?
Absolutely did. How incredible was that, right? Snuck up behind no body slam and broke his wrist. And we were talking about how shitty was the cop who Ben had his ID, knew it was not the guy, and then tell his guy as soon as he touched him, no, he's good.
The other guy says, why didn't you tell me?
I thought I was missing something.
The dude that slammed said, why didn't you tell me that wasn't the guy? Like, dude, they're all blaming each other and shit, man.
Yes, that's the first thing I noticed too. Shifting the fucking blame all around. Yep.
And then the guy with the body cam was saying something about like he was trying to cover his own ass by saying verbal words on his body cam. It was all messed up, man. His verbal excuse was no, there was two guys and I got him mixed up or whatever his little excuse.
I remember dude was like cops playing it to a cop. Somebody said, I remember that shit.
They was looking for a dude with a warrant, and that was the one that they were intending to, I guess, body slam. But this guy was just somebody that was walking. From what it sounds
he was cop-splaining to his body camera is what he was doing for court.
But look, they were saying, GA got a good point. They were so surprised it was not the guy. Meaning, if it was a guy, this was justified. It's okay to slam him and break his wrist. I'm not so sure that's true.
Yeah, well, he didn't need to slam him. All you need to do is throw cuffs on him. Why would you need to slam him?
And the dude fucking said, fuck your ambulance and all that shit. I'm taking my ass home. And Nick kept putting in there, he's going to go contact a lawyer over this shit. Once the subject actually knew what time it was, he's like, I ain't dealing with y'all no more. Let me out of here.
Right. He just wanted to go as far away from the aggressors as he could, man. I don't blame him.
Yeah,
I know, right? You wanted to get away from the aggressor.
Man.
I like how he did it was in that moment he realized he fucked up.
Let me ask y'all a question I ask everybody, man. And y'all know I always got to fucking spark something and say stupid shit. But you notice now, right? Everything, all races out here protesting is beautiful. I see the best images I ever see, the best feelings. I know I go to some rallies, they be like, listen, if you feel insecure in this neighborhood, especially if you have a certain color or persuasion, you come toward the middle. If you're transgender, you feel, threatened or something, you come toward the middle where it's around you. Just loving and compassion and all that shit. Why now? What wasn't that on the last 7 times? I don't mean to be sarcastic. A black motherfucker got shot in the black, blah, blah, blah. Why now? Because it happened. There's no denying fucking world change. We came together. Why now? I've heard some good reasons. I'd like to hear
y'all. Shit, man. I don't know why now. I just have another question to add to that for anybody in the chat. Where are these people at for just municipal court matters where people are getting shitted on by the judge and cops, and being pushed around and extorted? Why didn't people care about what the cops were doing even in those moments? But to answer Joe Cool, why now? I just think it was the straw that broke the camel's back. I just think 9 minutes with you. That video was disturbing, man. Even the firefighter girl was there saying, "I'm an EMT. I'm a firefighter for Minneapolis," and they didn't give a shit about her. They're all begging him to get off his neck. I don't know if anybody's heard, but he used to work with that cop that killed him. He used to work security with that cop that killed him, and they butted heads one time because the guy that did see now George.
Bro, I muted you.
George Floyd was security for this place, and he worked for the security, the actual security company. Now his boss would give the check for that cop to the cop because the cop was a third party security, not working under his company, just extra security as a police officer overtime. So he would give it to his head guy, which was George Floyd, and he would give him the check. And then when George Floyd gave him his check and that cop wasn't satisfied with the number on that check, he blamed George Floyd for it. And they had a big like a big butting of heads.
Wait, you know this?
Yeah, I seen it. You can look it up online. You'll see it. They work together.
No, I know they worked together. They had overlapping shifts. But what about the fucking bread? You know, he gave him a check that was short.
There was a guy that they interviewed. He was the witness. He worked there too, and he was like, "Yeah, he absolutely had a. They absolutely knew each other. They absolutely had a little rift between each other over that check."
He would knock it off that nigga neck. It seemed personal.
Do you guys remember the Micro Machine guy?
I do.
Yeah.
Fast,
yep. Fast talking.
Wolf just gave him for his money.
Well,
hey,
no,
one thing I've been trying to point out with all these protests and stuff that goes on is to remember the fact that, like, if nobody had seen those videos, nobody had ever known about this stuff. And it kind of goes for, people, body cams are a fairly new thing too. I mean, back in the days, they didn't have them all the time. Dash cams were more common, but yeah, I think the access to, social media and the fact that, you got people like us out here trying to shed light on it too. Might have a little.
So, Joe, I think to answer your question, I think that there's a lot of non-African American people that want to be able to get involved prior to George Floyd. A lot of non-African American people that want to get involved in activism and bringing light to this subject, but there's probably a fair percentage of them, a large percentage of them, that don't have the correct outlet or don't have the correct acceptance, let's say, within that I don't know, within that field, within that area. So I think that something horrific like what happened with George Floyd allowed a lot of black activists to accept non-black activists into the circle to kind of show their frustrations as well. I mean, this is just me talking.
I'm sure there was a lot of that, but I don't know if you know. I've been an activist since I was a kid, but I don't know if you know that all of the activism in our community is done hand in hand with white folks. It shocks nobody in real life that white folks, I've been fucking everywhere across this country, and I've always been with white folks and other races for that matter. But
not your average. So what I'm saying maybe is not your average, homemaker, not your average, whatever, your average person that's not, yes.
Believes that white motherfuckers, yes. I didn't think white motherfuckers was there to help me until I was probably into my late teens. I thought all them motherfuckers was out to get me, man. So
but I think it's great. I mean, and I think it's a great point to make, Joe, that all of a sudden it seems like everybody's more coming together than they were.
It ain't they did, and what caused it. Another good one I heard was that fucking that cabin fever bullshit from COVID. Everybody was unemployed. It was the perfect storm. All these things y'all mentioned. A motherfucker who been on lockdown, y'all just letting them out saying, nah, maybe we're not gonna let y'all out. Girl, the timing was just perfect. All these things.
There's validity to that too, I'm sure.
And I forgot the most important one that people say was the visual. That visual was what did it for 8.5 fucking minutes. It ain't like pop, pop, pop. Oh, it's over.
nonchalant, and he was so nonchalant about it with his hand in his pocket and like, you know, almost like he wasn't looking at his phone, but he had the look on his face almost like he was reading through his text messages, just checking out his phone, Like it just seemed. Go ahead.
Somebody had a good point though. He had to apply pressure the entire time. It took determination. The normal motherfucker would have been gave up and just took a more relaxed position as opposed to pushing down on a nigga neck for damn near 9 minutes. That took some serious fucking determination.
And the point that I was bringing up where they had worked together security before at an establishment, it makes it far too much worse. Like say I'm a cop, right? I'm Mr. fucking blue line cop, right? And I work security with this guy. Or no, say that I get called on a call for somebody with a counterfeit $20 bill, and then I get to the scene and I recognize that dude. Oh, I worked at the third district with you. I worked with you before, or something, or that guy. So if you've already worked with this person, you have to have already established some kind of trust that this guy is not a harm or something, right?
Yeah, I would
agree.
agree.
To handcuff him, throw him on the ground, and knee this guy, and you've met this man before, he's no longer a strange person that you don't know. You kind of know the kind of character that this guy is, and to do that to this dude over a counterfeit $20 bill that could have just been passed along to him, on the streets, as change that some store didn't, some store got shysted, and his change was a 20, and that's bullshit.
Yes, it seems like there had to be something personal now. It seems like he was mad that like your paycheck thing there. This is the guy. Here's my opportunity to get him back. Yeah, you thought you was the big man at the job when you withheld my money from my check. Yeah, how you like it?
Yeah, anybody in the chat who hasn't seen this, Google it up. George Floyd and I forget Kovacic, whatever his name is. I don't know how to say his goofy ass tyrant name, but
you still in the chat, Wendy? That's
but if you search up the butted heads, them two butted heads before, you'll find it on Google. I think it was a CBS interview or an NBC interview, one of the two.
Hey, I'm gonna turn this record up, man. I don't want to be getting y'all no strikes or no shit.
So GA, I'm thinking I'm gonna bounce out of here. We can either shut it down, or you can get into StreamYard and take over the chat.
I don't have the means to do any of that, and I probably got to be hitting the hay before too long.
All right, I think I heard shut down.
Always nice to be in here.
Yeah. I think it's time, guys. We're about an hour and a half over our normal timeline.
We were having such a pleasure, man. You guys always got great conversation, man. Nice rapping with you, gents, man.
Yeah, Joe, thank you so much. Wolfie, always a pleasure.
Yeah, you too.
Us. And GA, thanks for popping back in. Everyone in the chat, you guys, thanks for trying to chat with us. I know we looked over a lot of your chats, but we tried to keep you all involved. And thank you all so much. And good night. And we'll see you on Thursday at 9 o'clock. We'll see you then. Thank you all.
Y'all have a good night.